What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about a couple different stories. We're going to watch the Doom review from Skill Up, or overview. What is it called? 4-hour hands-on impression. Sorry, not a review. 4 hours hands-on impression. We're going to talk about RuneScape is getting its own open-world survival game. We're going to talk about it's so complicated that a lot of Activision games still aren't on Xbox Game Pass. We're going to talk about the next-gen Xbox is entering its final form, and it could change gaming as we know it. These are just a few of the topics we're going to talk about. If you like it, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you very much for showing up, hanging out with us each and every single morning, Monday through Thursday. We have multiple channels. We have 30 and Still Gaming, where we have gameplay. We have 30NSG, which is live content, uploads, shorts, podcasts, and then we have Nerding with 30, which does entertainment news and whatnot. So make sure you check out all our stuff. And if you want to listen to the music, you can go to 30 and Still Jamming, which is the music that you can also listen to for the stuff that you played in the morning, which is written by me but made by AI for the music and stuff. So appreciate you very much. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Eclipse? What's going on, Big Mo? Water Bear, Sarge, PS5, what's going on? Wonder Rose, good morning. Travis, good morning. Travis says he can't stay. Just give it a thumbs up. Sarge says, don't forget, kids, the Ubisoft and Tencent deal was made months ago. It was never a surprise. Yeah, a lot of people think that the deal was made like the other day. Yeah, publicly. But behind the scenes, that's been going on for maybe months of what they were trying to do. So, what's going on, Haley? All right, let's start off with RuneScape. I gotta move my... Give me 1 second. There we go. I feel like I have to have a desk extension, right? Because I'm pretty far back from my desk, and reaching out to push the buttons and stuff like that is a pain in my ass. We're also going to have another test stream after this stream. So when I'm done this morning with the Daily Grind, I'm going to go live again with the other software program. I think I figured out the chat thing. Just going to try to get myself a little bit familiar with it. So we're going to go live after the stream, just for a test stream for a little bit. All right, so let's look at this. Where's my camera? Where did my camera go? Why is my camera missing? Amazing. There it is. For God's sakes. All right, RuneScape. Those of you who have never played RuneScape, I don't know who the hell you are, because RuneScape's been around for so long. We're playing Brighter Shores. The people that made RuneScape moved over to a different game called Brighter Shores. We've been playing Brighter Shores for a bit. What's going on, Roadkill? What's going on, Hemi? So now RuneScape is getting its own open-world survival game. Okay? So, has officially announced that RuneScape Dragon's Wilds, as a developer's newest project, brings many iconic elements of the beloved MMORPG into the open-world survival setting. And the massive popular RPG from Jagex, set in the world, has grown into one of the most iconic, recognizable games of the online space. Far from humble roots, as an MMORPG designed to be playable on browsers, and the game's long-standing popularity has seen to earn over $1 billion in revenue. They're also bringing the world into spin-off web games, novels, and more. And now the iconic MMORPG is getting a fully fledged spin-off. So while RuneScape is the main property since the studio's inception, the MMORPG has also been a variety of distinct versions. RuneScape history can also be divided into 3 different areas, with the game released in 2001 as a RuneScape Classic, the version launching in 2004 known as RuneScape 2, and the modern version of the game referred to RuneScape 3. Now, the RuneScape 2 era would even see a re-release as an old-school RuneScape, which also continues to support to this day. A new teaser trailer is now showing off for a brand new project in the RuneScape universe. As reported by IGN, officially revealed RuneScape Dragon Wilds, on Monday as a brand new open-world survival game set with the world of RuneScape. The game takes place in a new continent within the game's world, and allowing players to team up with others, venture into the world, hone their skills, battle for a wide range of enemies. RuneScape Dragon Wilds has reportedly featured a variety of different skills for players to master with the skills taken from the original RuneScape. Also confirmed they also early access release window for the games arrived this spring in 2025 with a deep dive to come on April 15th. The initial reveal of RuneScape Dragon Wilds promised plenty of familiar gameplay elements, and even setting the longtime fans of RuneScape, the game's world teaser trailer showed off a variety of different RuneScape locations players can visit, including a tower similar to the world Wizard's Tower and Windmill, much like they also found in Lumbridge. Okay, Dragon Wilds also looks to carry off RuneScape's runes with a variety of new uses ranging from combat applications to open world exploration. RuneScape Dragon Wilds also looks like it's a giant step in a bold new direction, as the developer has also continued to improve in its existing games. The developer recently revealed a content roadmap for RuneScape 3 through the start of 2026, including the addition of new areas in the game. Old school RuneScape similar saw a release of its first ever new skill added to the game, with the alpha test for sailing launching earlier this month. Fans of RuneScape look to have a stunning new adventure on the way for RuneScape Dragon Wilds. Okay. So let me get the trailer real fast. We'll look at this trailer. It looks interesting. It looks interesting. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Went to the wrong thing. It's all right, chat. Give me 1 second. You guys posted it yesterday, right? Yesterday evening in the general chat, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. So let's bring this up. No, that's not it. Give me 1 second. I don't know why it's not. Here we go. The building looks interesting. Like it looks good. It's a quick trailer, real quick. But looks pretty good. Looks pretty good for what RuneScape is, right? The next level, the next entry of RuneScape. So a lot of people I think would be excited about this, considering RuneScape is a massive game. It's been around for 24 years. You know, a lot of people talk about like World of Warcraft and whatnot, but RuneScape's been here the entire time as well. I'm liking Brighter Shores. I'll give it a shot when RuneScape comes out, when RuneScape Dragon Wilds comes out. So, what do you guys think of that? Are you guys excited for RuneScape Dragon Wilds? If you've never played a RuneScape before, let me know in chat as well. They make this game so goddamn easy to play, right? Through the browser, through the stuff. It's not a very complex game to get into, but it is a complex game, right? It's still a complex game. Like, if you play, like, Brighter Shores right now is a very surface-level game where everyone can jump in and play and go, oh, you know what? This seems like a simple game. But then there's more layers to it, and that's what gets people to come back, the initial loop of the game. Very addictive. I have like 150 hours already in Brighter Shores. I haven't played it much in the last couple of months, but because there's been so many other games have come out. But RuneScape, the creators of RuneScape, moved over to that game, and now these other people that were working on RuneScape have now ventured off into making another RuneScape Dragon Wilds. I think this is going to be a big game. It's going to be one of those games that people don't really talk about, but we know RuneScape. RuneScape is a huge name, man. As the article said, you know, over $1 billion in revenue. That ain't nothing to shake at. You know what I mean? So, what do you guys think in the chat? What do you think in the comment section down below if you're watching this after the fact? Let me know. Are you a RuneScape fan? Are you looking forward to Dragon Wilds? And because now, you know, 2025 was already established for you. You already had your roadmap set, right? You already knew that the games that you were playing, and then all of a sudden, now RuneScape, you're an old RuneScape fan, and all of a sudden now RuneScape comes out of the fog, and you're like, oh man, I was going to play this game, but now I'm looking into this game. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. What's going on, X Factor? X Factor says, I've never played RuneScape. RuneScape is a very simplistic game to play. It's fun. It's fun. Argus says, I have an old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3 downloaded on my phone right now. Yeah. See, that's another thing, right? It's on the phone. It's in the browser. It's on Steam. It's everywhere. It's a huge game. Eclipse says, I'm excited as long as it's a paid title. Please don't be free to play. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Eclipse. Brighter Shores is a free to play game, and I like how it's put into like the first 2 chapters are free. And if you want to continue on, I mean, you're putting a lot of hours in to that point. If you put it into the third chapter, then you pay, right? You pay a monthly fee, and then you beat it, and then you can stop paying the monthly fee, and it's like $6, I think it was. So I think it's pretty good. Now, I stopped paying. I paid for 1 month to see what the other episode was. I never even got to the 4th episode. That's why I stopped paying. But I played, and I'm still leveling up in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And then there's Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5, and you keep as long as you keep paying the $6 a month, you can keep playing the chapters and whatnot. Now, I'm not sure if you paid for it once, if you can go back to it. If you stop paying, you can't go to it. I'm not really too sure how that works. Waterbear says, this or Dune Awakening. I only have room for one MMO survival style game these days. That's another, I mean, a lot of people that might be interested. See, I'm interested in Dune, but I don't have a really powerful enough PC to run and stream it. I have enough of a PC to where I can play it off stream, but to play it on stream for you guys. But I'm interested in Dune. I'm very interested in Dune because they want to make it like Star Wars Galaxies back in the day. So we'll see what happens there, Waterbear. Jack says, it's been so long I played RuneScape, I can't remember my login or email. Oh, yeah. You just log in, Jack. You'll stare at it and go, wait a minute. Oh, I know what the login is. When there's a will, there's a way. You'll figure it out. If you've never played RuneScape, just open up your browser and go. Yeah, it's that simple, PS5. It's that simple. I used to play hours of RuneScape, and it's been decades since I last played. If you like RuneScape and you've never played, check out Brighter Worlds. Not that I want to be a pusher on something, but if you liked RuneScape, you'll like Brighter Shores, which is on Steam right now. It's an early access, but it's a free-to-play game as well. Arga says, that's how they do RuneScape as well. It's free-to-play. You pay for a monthly sub for expand content in the areas and time. I can always go back to RuneScape. It will be a game that I can also long as exist. It will always have room for it. Argus, does RuneScape, because I haven't played RuneScape, it's got to be 15 years. Okay. Now, last time I played it, it wasn't where they were paying off, like if I paid a thing and stop, like if I pay for the content and I stop paying for the content, can I still play the content I paid for, or does it lock you out? House, I started at 10:13. I started at 10 o'clock. You think I already went to like the third story or second story? Like, settle down. No, I haven't talked about Doom yet. Argus says, that's old school RuneScape login screening gets me rock hard every time. Massive RuneScape fan. Yeah, where are the likes? Where are the likes? PS5 Blows wants to know where are the likes. Can we get the likes, please? Freaking half of you are just sitting here going, I'm just listening. I don't feel like pushing any buttons or anything. Eclipse says it locks you out, and anything you got in the members world you can't use. Okay. You only have access to the free areas and the items when you stop paying for the sub, Mike. Thank you. I think so. PS5. I think the likes are broken. There's a free-to-play server and members servers, Mike. I mean, for Brighter Shores, there's a lot of content. Each level, you can level up to like level 500, and there's a story content in there. And so there's a lot to do to level up in the first 2 chapters. And then if you wanted to pay the $6, then you can pay the $6 and move on to Brighter Shores. And I keep bringing up Brighter Shores because that's the closest thing to RuneScape, if people don't understand what RuneScape is. Half of us watching only use Steam, so pushing the like button is like trying to use the Epic browser. Right? It's like, here's your cursor. The like button's right here. They're like, I can't be bothered to push the like button. Wait, what is this? The streamer wants me to push the like button. I mean, I didn't want you to push the like button. PS5 Blows wants you to push the like button. All right, so we got RuneScape. That's down. Next, we have Activision story here. We got an Activision story. What's going on, Ultron? Okay. It's so complicated. A lot of Activision Blizzard games still aren't on Xbox Game Pass. Now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I actually said this when the deal was going through. I said, don't imagine that all the Activision games are going to be just chucked onto Game Pass at one time. Multiple reasons for this, and I said this 2 years ago when they were in the FTC trial. I said, if and when Xbox gets Activision, okay, I said that the Activision games will not be dropping right away. They'll take months and maybe years to get on because they don't want to drop, okay? They don't want to drop everything at one time. Plus, you don't want to do that. Like, just think about the game industry right now, right? Like, you're playing, we were just talking about RuneScape, right? You didn't know RuneScape was coming, Dragon Wilds was coming, and you're already interested in another game. You're like, you already partitioned your time, right? You're already like, hey, I'm going to play this game this year. Maybe I'm playing Doom. Maybe I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 6 later, whatever. But now, RuneScape comes out, and you're a big RuneScape fan. All of a sudden, you're like, holy Christ, right? You only have enough time to play one game, and there's oversaturation. So think about Microsoft. I said this years ago. I said, they're not going to just drop all the Activision games on Game Pass because you'll eat your own, okay? Sure, you could drop them all, and then everyone's like, oh, my God, did you see all the Activision games? But let's be honest. You ever go back and play one of your older games? Okay, you ever go back and play one of your old games? I gotta sneeze. I'm on the edge of sneezing right now. I don't know if you can see this. My nose is turning red. I gotta. Give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. So you ever go back and play the old games? Like maybe you have an Atari, maybe you have a Nintendo NES, maybe a Super NES, Sega Genesis, whatever. You're like, man, I'm so stoked to play these games. You pop in the game, you play it, and about 10 minutes later, you're like, I'm good. And you put it down. Okay? So what happens is, if they just dropped Activision games on Game Pass, you would play a couple of them and be like, I'm good. And that was it. It took them weeks and months to put the stuff on there, and you went through the whole catalog within, like, I don't know, a weekend. But instead, they'll just slowly drop, drip feed the content as they go, right? We talked about the Call of Duty a couple weeks ago, right? Because Destin Laguerre had a video talking about where's all the Call of Duties? Like, put them on there, right? So basically what happens is that if you put all the Call of Duties on there, then some people would play Call of Duty 2, some people would play Call of Duty 3, some people would do that, right? So that's the problem, okay? Then on top of that, there's a licensing, right? The license of all the stuff, paying the actors, paying the certain people, royalty checks and stuff like that. So they have to make sure they cross the T's, dot the I's, So let's go on here, all right? So it's so complicated, a lot of Activision Blizzard games still aren't on Xbox Game Pass. So Activision Blizzard titles have been slow to come to Xbox Game Pass since Microsoft 2023 acquisition of the company. While the service did get a day one release of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and now hosts several other Activision titles, its current lineup barely scratches the surface of Activision Blizzard's immense library. Disappointing as may be some users, there also be a good reason why Xbox Game Pass has taken so long to include more of these games. Newer Activision publisher games have showcased a strong trend of coming to Microsoft gaming subscription service. Apart from the aforementioned Black Ops 6, leakers reveal that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 plus 4, which equals 7, would be a day one title of Xbox Game Pass, which Xbox later confirmed. Future releases in those series are likely to follow suit, but the backlog of the older Activision games that will also have not made their way to Xbox Game Pass is still sizable, despite Microsoft owning the company for over a year at this point. Okay? So I don't think people understand how business works. I really don't. Obviously, it's real simple for them to say, well, why don't you put all this stuff on there? Come on, you own all the stuff. You don't want to shove the drawer full of stuff and bits and pieces are being played. You want to drop one thing, let the player base play that thing, and then drop the next thing, okay? The Verge's Tom Warren offered some insight into why it's taken so long for Activision Blizzard games to come to Game Pass while it's on Xbox 2 podcasts. According to Warren, The process of getting an older game onto the service is as long and complicated one. Regardless of the publisher, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer said it would take time for Xbox Game Pass to get Activision titles back then Microsoft first acquired the company, and some of the same reasons may still apply. Warren pointed out that the older games need monetization, like getting them support cloud save files. That's another thing I didn't even bring up, right? So that's another good point, taking the game, putting it onto the newer platform for the digital realm before they can work on the platform, which also takes considerable development-related time and effort. Okay. He says Warren also cited potential licensing concerns as possible obstacle. 100%. Like to put the Transformers game or put any licensed game and like heavy voice actors and stuff like that. You got to pay those actors again, okay? Because they signed a contract to use this, and it was for like a 5-year, 6-year deal, and then that game gets delisted and whatnot. And now someone else picks it up and wants to use it again. They got to sign those contracts again. So while Microsoft may own Activision Blizzard now, old royalty deals with voice actors familiar with contracts may need to be updating and addressing before Xbox can start giving away a game on Xbox Game Pass. See, that's exactly right. This happens in the film industry all the time and in television and stuff. If they pull like an old commercial out or something, an old film, or they put it on TBS or they put it on HBO, whatever it is, that actor has to get paid for that stuff. That director has to get paid. They have to fill out and sign contracts again to redo that. So if Netflix took an old movie and started putting it on Netflix, they would have to contact the studio, then contact the actors and make sure that they're okay with this and whatnot. It all depends on what the deal is, okay? So it's worth noting that the suggestions are speculation, but it would also make sense if Microsoft was facing such challenges. The Activision acquisition drove a 51% of Xbox gaming revenue increase, and following the quarter of Call of Duty's Game Pass launch was a big financial success. So a relatively lack of Activision titles of the platform likely does not come from the lack of faith of the potential drive profits. Regardless of what's causing things to take so long, Xbox is slowly adding more Activision Blizzard games to the subscription service. 2021 Activision's Arcade Collection came to Xbox Game Pass in March, which already was on PlayStation like a year ago, 2 years ago, and now it's coming here because obviously they signed a deal with PlayStation a couple years ago, and now Activision's owned by Microsoft, so now they're putting that on there. Bring 5 titles from studio in one, as one of the next fans will have to wait and see. So, yeah, I think, look, would I be excited? We talked about this actually before they bought Activision, because in the summer of 2023, we started playing Transformers again, leading up to hopefully when Activision gets bought out, okay, by Xbox, that they bring back the Transformers games, okay, so other people can play them. Devastation, Fall Cybertron, right? Even the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. I would be a huge fan if those things came onto the current day. Okay, so these are the reasons why Activision Blizzard is not always just throwing stuff on Game Pass. You don't want to eat your own. Okay, if you put too much stuff on the platform itself, people will just abuse it, right? Just like if you put a buffet in front of someone, people are just going to eat. They're just going to eat. They're going to become fat and lazy. Okay, that's what's going to happen. And when you play games like this, you're gonna abuse it as well, right? All you can eat games, and you're just like, oh, and then you're like, I'm bored of these games. So Activision has a huge catalog of back titles that they can slowly drip feed onto the service. And I even said this in the past. They could have some sort of Activision tier where maybe only the Activision games are only on the Ultimate, and you get to pay for the Ultimate, and then the Activision games you can pay for. You know what I mean? Like, they're already on there. If you're not in the Ultimate, again, I'm just saying this. I said this years ago. If they have an Activision tier, which is included into the Ultimate tier, that would make more people go, oh, I'm interested in that game, and they might get the Ultimate, not just day and date, but now you also get Activision backlog games and stuff like that. These are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Why do you think it's taking so long, and why it's so complicated for Activision Blizzard to get games onto Game Pass, or Microsoft to get Activision Blizzard games onto Game Pass? Let me know in the comment section down below if you're watching this after the fact. If you're in the live chat, let me know what you guys think about the Activision Blizzard games. Would you like them to just drop a bunch of games onto the platform all at once, or do you want to have it slow drip feed to you because of just time, right? You have brand new games coming out. You have old games coming out. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me scroll back up here, see what you guys are saying. Krebsy says, I can see that chat forgets what this company said 3 months ago. They wanted you to spend $350 a year, have a game ads, paid player support, playing for better, etc., security, etc. Argus says, yeah, Activision Blizzard is a shit company for sure. Krepsy says, no RuneScape. Kate's or Jagex. Let's see. Argus says, I'm waiting for China and Japan to drop all their future banger games. Heck says, what's up, 30? What's going on, Heck? Eclipse says, no, 30. Just releasing and not have the feature so we can all complain about it. Right. Could you imagine? We know this would happen, right, Eclipse? Let's say they just dropped all the games at once. Then people be like, well, I played all the games. This is so stupid. You know, Xbox should have not dropped all the games at once. I'm kind of bored now. Yeah, that's what would happen, right? That's exactly what would happen. El Nini says the ultimate slash Activision tier will be $30 a month. I don't think you're wrong, El Nini. I think what'll happen though is the way the market works is you want to give value where value is, and they want to put as much stuff on that ultimate 20 tier like section. Okay. Once they have an influx of people, let's just say, again, I'm making up numbers here. Let's say there's 30 million people playing for Ultimate. Okay. Then they put the Activision tier on there. Let's say they put the Steam tier that we were talking about the other day. Right? Steam's on there now. So you have Steam, you have EA Play, you have Activision games, you have all of these games in the upper tier of the Ultimate. Okay. Then, and only then, they're like, all right, we get an influx of people come in. They go from 30 mil to 50 mil, and they see a slowdown. Then all of a sudden they see the slowdown, and they're like, you know what? Let's raise it from 20 to 22, 22 to 25. And at some point, yes, it will be $30, and the value with Steam, with the Activision games, with Day and Date, with anything else, with EA Play, with all of these things on there, they would still be worth the price tag. Now, we've had this conversation in the past. Where would I cut it off? I probably would stop at 25. It all depends on what's happening, right? If it's 25 and both me and my son are still playing games, like in Discord yesterday, I put my son's playing like 10 or 15 games on Game Pass. 100% worth it, right? I already got 4 games this year that I played off of Game Pass, well, within the last 4 months, okay? I got Indiana Jones. I forgot yesterday to put in Eternal Stranded, which we haven't finished yet, Avowed. Now we're playing Atomfall, and there was one more game. Oh, we're playing 33 Immortals. Okay. We had like 4 or 5 games. There's one more game I'm missing. I know there's one more game we're missing. Anyway, 5 games. Okay. If I paid full price for those, that's $280. $350. Okay. Instead, I've paid $20, $40, $60, $80. $80 in the last 4 months, and I played all of these games and more, right? Between my son playing and my purchase, it's a shit ton of games, well worth the price. Kraken says they're retarded. That's all it is. There you go. Altered says, of course, I don't know how business works. I'm a gamer and lazy at that. I can't understand how to move the mouse to click on the stores than Steam. Dog says, just give us WoW. I have a video on that. I stand by it. WoW will come to console, and it will come to Game Pass. 100%. PS5 says my likes have to be broken. It says 2. You guys have same issue? No, I have 18. I have 18 PS5. Waterbear says $49.99 a month, Game Pass incoming. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. El Nini says Oblivion remake. That's another one, right? They're coming out with the older games, coming back and doing remasters, right? There's so many games. Look at what's happening. Oh, South of Midnight was the other game, right? It comes out in like a week, right? That's another game we're going to try that I don't have to pay full price for, right? And then after that, Doom Eternal comes out, or Doom Eternal Darkness, or Dark Ages, right? Comes out. So there's just constant games coming out now. Jack says they dropped all Bethesda games all at once and don't want to overwhelm everybody doing that. there's a difference. There's a difference between Activision and Bethesda, right? You can look at Bethesda games and count them on 1.5 hands, right? You could get 2 hands and still not have all the Call of Duties on there. Classic WoW and Game Pass would be cool. I think it'll happen. I do. I think it'll happen. I think they, like I said, I have a video on this. I think they will include the price of your WoW subscription. You just pay for Game Pass, and WoW's included in that. We need a Oblivion remake stream when it drops. I'm not really a big streamer when it comes to stuff like that, El Nini. If it comes out, I might give it one night for 3 hours, but I'm not going to go a full playthrough again. Dog says, if they bring WoW Classic to Game Pass, I'm in. And if they hold off a monthly fee as you pay for Game Pass, I'm so in. I think they will. Because what happens is right now they have a whole bunch of people on Battle.net, okay? And they pay the monthly fee for just WoW. If they can convert those people off of just the subscription of WoW on Battle.net and move that over to Game Pass, that's more users for Game Pass. All these other games open up for them, and they still have their WoW subscription. Do you know what I mean? You know how many more people would come into that ecosystem? Be pretty crazy. Be pretty crazy. Again, this is all far-fetched right now until it happens. Yeah, Bethesda games, going back to the Bethesda question, right? They dropped all Bethesda games. I mean, again, there's not many, and they didn't drop them all because Fallout 4 update just came out, a couple months ago. They didn't put out, what's the other game they didn't put out? Right? They haven't had an Oblivion or Morrowind. Can you get Oblivion and Morrowind on Game Pass right now? Is that on there on Game Pass? I don't think it is. Maybe it was at one point. Or maybe I haven't looked. It'd be such a winner. New players and playing with console friends would be such a thing. Well, that's another thing. It's definitely coming to console because they've had support for 2.5 years now for controller support. We'll see, Waterbear. I'll tell you what. It's one of my most watched videos on this channel. If that actually happens, that video will blow up. That'll be evergreen content for me. It's hard to look at news stories and see what's fake or real today. So we gotta watch what we look at here. Yeah, Doom Dark Ages. That's it. We'll watch that in a second. Actually, what time is it? It's 10:30. That'll take a little bit. Yeah, we'll watch that. We'll watch that next. It's a 20-minute video, so that'll turn into 40 minutes. Oblivion and Morrowind on Game Pass. Right, but then they're doing the remakes of those, right? Today is National Bullshit Day. All right, let's go with, we're going to watch Skill Up's review, 4-hour hands-on preview. I keep saying review, but it's not a review. It's a 4-hour hand-on impression. Okay? If you guys like what I do here, we just watch videos, read stories, give you my thoughts and opinions on these things, and then after the fact, we get your thoughts and opinions in chat. Appreciate it very much. Let's make sure this is at normal speed. Here we go.
Always very proud to be shouting out this video sponsor, Lost in Cold. You may remember them from that incredible Outer Wilds commemorative book they put together featuring over 250 pages of essays, interviews, and perspectives on one of the greatest games ever made. Lost in Cold do these sorts of books and collections regularly, like this beautiful Design Works package based on the visually arresting Ultras. And they've even got a stunningly designed gaming trivia card game they've made in collaboration with Did You Know Gaming. To learn more about what they do, click the link below or stick around to the end of the video. Doom the Dark Ages. Oh boy, have I been excited to talk about this one. Okay, so right off the top, I want to say that I absolutely loved most of this. Not all of it.
Hold on one second. Okay.
All of it, and we'll get to that stuff later, but the most essential aspects of Doom the Dark Ages, I was super into, absolutely. However, I expect that this is going to be a very divisive entry in the Doom pantheon, and to understand why,
I know this is going to be shunned upon, okay? I am a Doom player from the old school Dooms. I have not played any of the new Dooms since 2016. Haven't touched one iota of it. Haven't touched it. I know it's sacrilegious, right? We might jump into this. I think it looks amazing. I'm just not a big fan of the Doom. I played it back in the day, loved it back then. It looks amazing. The music sounds fantastic. I just haven't got into it because I was playing other games at the time. And then the second one came out, and now the third one's coming out, and I'd never played any of them. I might go back and play it, but if I have to play the first and second one to understand the third one, then that's going to take a really long time for me personally to play.
I think it's helpful to do a bit of a history lesson on Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, because with the benefit of hindsight, I think we understand both of those games much better today than we did back then. Doom 2016 laid down a template that many, myself included, thought was flawless, like perfect in every way, from gameplay to soundtrack to visuals to storytelling and beyond. Flawless video game, 11 out of 10. Then along comes Doom Eternal, and on the surface, it looks like Doom 2016, only, better. I mean, it had a grapple, it was faster, it had more weapons, more story, it had everything that 2016 had, plus some new stuff, so obviously, it was better, right? Well, not really. It was more about those two games being really different. Some people, like myself, didn't really like the focus on weapon swapping and the Marauder and the more overt storytelling. Others thought that all of these things were straight upgrades and that the more demanding combat loop of Eternal was the best that Doom had ever been. I think these two perspectives kind of warred with one another for a time before
I think it looks awesome, right? But I understand where you're coming from, dog. Right? This looks cool. As a gamer, I look at this and go, it looks amazing. It looks fun. But as a gamer that looks at this, I'm like, I have no interest in this. But it doesn't mean that the game is shit in any way, shape, or form. I think it looks fantastic. I'm glad that people love this game. I love that there's 3 of them. I might play it one day. But I loved the original Doom. Back in the day, I fucking loved it. That, Wolfenstein, I loved all those types of games.
Everyone eventually realized that it wasn't about one being better than the other. It was about personal preference. And some people just preferred 2016 or Eternal for perfectly legitimate reasons. And that was fine. I provide all this context as a lead into this preview because, my god, is Doom the Dark Ages a very different Doom. This thing is nothing like 2016, and it is nothing like Eternal.
Look how smooth it is.
Those games had subtle mechanical and storytelling differences.
I don't care if it's a prequel, sequel, Mo. Either way, I haven't played the other 2. So even if this is the one I can play and I don't need to play the other ones, it's still attached, right? Because it's going to tell me stuff in this that leads up to what the other 2 games were.
Which translated into very big differences in overall game feel. Doom the Dark Ages, however, there is nothing subtle about these changes, man. Like, the minute you load into this, you're like, okay, they were obviously shooting for a very different...
Yeah, but you don't have to spend money, dog, if you have Game Pass.
...target with this one. But I do come back to what we all learned with Doom Eternal's release, and that is, its software do hit an extraordinarily high quality and excellence bar here that is undeniable. And so when it comes to how much Dark Ages clicks with you...
I'll be honest, the fucking chainsaw shield... That's a selling point. I look at that thing and that looks amazing.
I again expect it's going to come down to personal preference, except for maybe the dragon stuff, but like I said, we'll talk about that soon. For now, let me clarify what I experienced during this preview. It was about 3 or so hours playing on PC. It was on an RTX 5080 running at 4K DLSS set to quality. Some of the footage you're seeing here is mine, and some of it is provided B-roll. I was playing on the hard difficulty, so 1 step above normal, and there were 2 additional difficulties above that, but they sort of had like a limited life system that I didn't want to test out during a preview. I played through 4 missions, including the first mission of the game, then another linear mission, then I played through a dragon flying mission, and finally I finished up in one of the game's semi-open world levels where I could freely explore a big map full of different objectives and see.
Semi-open world, they say. Now you're talking to me. I didn't know there was semi-open world where I can explore and stuff.
Secrets. I will also flag that the setup I was playing on had a huge amount of input lag. I don't know why that was, but it definitely made playing the game feel a little harder, so I apologize if some of the footage you're seeing here is a bit potato-aimy. Finally, Bethesda imposed a 15-minute limit on new gameplay footage for this preview, so I've spliced in some reveal trailer and some gameplay showcase footage as well to make sure I adhere to that limitation while still being able to say everything I want to say.
Dog, Adam Fall's actually really good. I'm playing a really, if you've been watching my playthrough, I screwed up my game. Like, everyone in the town is after me. Like, everyone's very hostile towards me. It's very slow moving, but I actually do like Adam Fall. If you don't screw it up like I did, where I try to murder everyone, it's actually a really interesting game.
The day started with a short video where the game's director Hugo Martin outlined the 3 pillars on which Doom: The Dark Ages is built. They are, in no particular order, classically inspired Doom combat, storytelling, and expanded worlds enabling exploration. So, let's talk about them. By now, you may have already seen some Dark Ages gameplay, and it's clearly not Doom Eternal. That game was defined by its speed, its verticality, its weapon swapping. Id Software had actually been inspired by seeing someone play Doom 2016 as a sort of Devil May Cry action game, and so they built Eternal around that vision. Doom: The Dark Ages is inspired by something else entirely, and that something else is the original Doom. That was a game that was about strafing left and right to not only position...
Okay, now hold up a second. See, everything he just said in that whole sentence and paragraph is the reason I wasn't interested in the original, like the 2016, because it was just too fast for me. But now he's saying that this one has slowed down, and it's about sort of like the original Doom, which I love the original Doom type of stuff.
Position yourself, but also dodge slow-moving projectiles coming at you. In the same preview intro video, Martin described OG Doom as a sort of 3D bullet hell and said one of the goals of Dark Ages was to recreate that feeling. And I would say that term 3D bullet hell is actually the rock on which this game's core gameplay is built. It has many mechanics operating at any one time, but the most central mechanic that you'll come back to time and time again is dodging...
Can I go back here for a second? This right here was next level for us. This right here was so good back in the day. If you're a youngster right now and you look at this and go, what is this piece of shit that he's showing on the screen right now? This is the next level. This blew our minds, okay, when we were younger.
Create that feeling. And I would say that term 3D bullet hell is actually the rock on which this game's core gameplay is built. It has many mechanics operating at any one time, but the most central mechanic that you'll come back to time and time again is dodging orange projectiles and parrying green projectiles to reflect them back. Sometimes the stuff you're dodging are simple, slow-moving projectiles that you can just jump over or whatever. Other times, you'll need to reflect back hit scan style attacks that demand precisely timed button presses like when you're riding the dragon.
The dragon looks sort of like the Batmobile right now inside of the, was it Batman, the third one?
Sometimes the green attacks that you need to parry will be melee attacks, like when you're piloting the giant Pacific Rim style mech, which is absolutely something you will do in Doom: The Dark Ages.
Come on, Kylo.
But most often, you're going to be dodging a mix of orange and green projectiles, positioning yourself so that you can reflect the...
That's not a rumor. That's not a rumor, dog. That's what happened. They took out the career mode.
Green stuff back for maximum damage.
Thank you, Krebsy.
Set up for
Arkham
big
Knights.
melee finishes. These Scorpion enemies here are the best example of this whole bullet hell design philosophy. This dude is literally shooting out walls of projectiles that you're dancing between like Nier Automata or some shit.
That's cool.
So that's the foundation of the gameplay, I would say. Dodging and parrying projectiles. 3D bullet hell, absolutely. But that really is just the foundation, and on top of that, it has laid a huge number of game systems that make your abilities and melee attacks as potent as your guns. And I would say actually more potent, since your abilities often act as a key that unlocks the ability to deal damage to an enemy with a weapon, so if you aren't mastering your abilities, you are going nowhere fast. The main two abilities are your melee attacks and your shield, so don't think of your melee attacks as just glory kills like in the previous games. These are actual...
I'm going to ask you guys, because I haven't played the new ones since 2016, right? I haven't played any of the new ones. Is there like skill trees and stuff that you level up in this game as well, chat? Like, obviously mastering the abilities he's talking about is just getting familiarized with the actual mechanics of the controller, right? To dodge and whatnot. But is there like a skill tree as well?
Actual melee attacks powered by either a gauntlet or a flail that you'll unlock later in the game. They each have
Okay, so he said unlocked. Okay.
a 3-hit combo that require charges to use, and you refill charges by parrying enemy attacks, hence why parrying is so important. These melee attacks do a truckload of damage and are easily the most efficient way to dispatch foes, and enemies often have specific weaknesses to melee attacks. This big boy here, we were told
In my head, with the shield, I'm like Captain America, and I'm in some alternate universe as Doom.
to fight him up close, parrying his attacks so we could trade melee blows with him. I ignored that advice at first just to see how it went, and yeah, it went very badly. It took a long time to bring this guy down because shooting him just didn't really do much, but when I took that advice, he dropped very, very quickly indeed. So that's melee. The other important ability is your shield, and there's a lot to unpack here. When revealing Doom the Dark Ages, it specifically said this.
In Doom Eternal, you felt like a fighter jet. In Doom the Dark Ages, you'll be an iron tank. Heavy, strong, but still fast. A grounded combat system with an emphasis on power over the acrobatics of Doom Eternal.
That seems pretty badass, I'll be honest.
So even though Martin specifically said that the Doomslayer was still fast, I think we all kind of ignored that part and we decided that Doom Dark Ages would be slow, but it's definitely not slow. And the thing that gives it pace is the shield. At any point in time, you can lock onto a distant enemy, and with the press of a button, you will streak across the map to shield slam that target, one-shotting smaller enemies and closing the gap to bigger enemies so that you can set up for a melee combo.
The combat seems really, really fun.
This mechanic really opens up the map in a big way, which is important because some of the arenas I was fighting in throughout my playthrough were huge, and I desperately needed a way to cross space quickly. It's also the way by which you can quickly change elevations, since enemies up high become a sort of makeshift grapple point. So yeah, this mechanic is almost like Grapple 2.0, in that it does a lot of the same stuff, but you can use it with any weapon equipped rather than just the super shotgun. Obviously, the shield is also used to block enemy attacks and parry them, but the final use is the shield throw. Just like your melee attacks and shield slam, this mechanic is used in a bunch of different ways. For example, it will be the primary tool you use when solving puzzles.
All right, so open area, okay, open areas, semi-open areas, puzzle solving. Combat is still fast, but slower. Okay, it's got a fucking chainsaw shield. I mean, there's a lot of pros here for me.
You can also mow down low-level enemies with ease. It can also be used as a stunt, where the shield embeds itself in higher-level enemies, ripping at their demonic faces while you busy yourself with other demons. But the most important use for the shield throw is as a means of detonating armor. A very large number of enemies in Doom Dark Ages have armor plating, which makes them totally invulnerable to most weapon and melee attacks. However, you can shoot at this armor to superheat it, and when it glows just the right color, you can detonate it with a shield throw, shattering the armor and rendering the target vulnerable.
El Nino says, don't forget the mech. Well, I haven't seen the mech yet. I mean, I have, but... You know, I mean, the mech, the dragon didn't sell me, right? Dragon sells me, but looking at the dragon gameplay didn't sell me, right? If the mech, my problem with mechs, El Nini, in video games is Titanfall kind of did this, right? Where you're on the ground at 5 feet, 11 inches tall, okay? And you're shooting a gun. But then I jump into a mech that's 20 feet off the ground and I'm still shooting a gun. As the gamer, right, in first person, it doesn't matter if I'm 5 feet above the ground or 20 feet above the ground. You see what I'm saying? It almost feels the same. Great, I know I'm in a mech, but if it doesn't give me some sort of like cool feature besides going, man, I'm in a big mech and now the camera's higher off the ground, it doesn't excite me.
Honestly,
if you give me like Mecha Breaker type of stuff where I know I'm in a mech and I'm doing badass stuff, that's different. Right? But if I'm going from here to here, that doesn't really excite me.
An extremely cool mechanic, especially when you trigger it on a bunch of little shield bros, since when one of them pops, they all pop, and then their armor shards fly out like little fireworks. I haven't even spoken about the weapons yet, but yeah, they're fucking cool too, just as you'd expect. There's your standard shotgun or plasma rifles, and the plasma rifle will explode plasma shields for very efficient wave clearing. But then there's whatever the hell this is.
No, Altern, you're missing what I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying. When you... I like mechs. What I'm saying is a first-person shooter, if I'm 5 feet above the ground or if I'm 20 feet above the ground, I'm still doing a first-person shooter. You could have made the game where I was just a mech fighting, right? But they made it where you're a small guy, first person, and then all of a sudden you're in a mech. It's the same. It's just nothing differentiates once you're in the thing. It's like you're playing a first-person shooter game now, but you're in a mech. It's a first-person shooter mech game now.
Is a literal ball and chain gun.
And then in Titanfall, you're in it for a certain period of time, and you got to bail out. And I liked it. I liked it a lot, but it just...
that shoots a
I want to feel badass.
An iron ball that deals more damage the more you charge it up, and the ball is recalled in between every single shot. It's awesome. So stepping back, we have guns that shoot stuff. We have melee attacks with different melee weapon options and different combos. We've got a shield that's an offensive weapon and an armor detonator and a gap closer. We've got projectiles to dodge. We've got other projectiles and melee attacks to parry. And honestly, there's like half a dozen other enemy or environment mechanics going on at the same time. And I won't even cover them here for the simple reason that this video would just be too long. But the main takeaway...
Now, it would be different. It would be different if it was a VR game. Do you know what I mean? Because then you're feeling the actual, like, but when you're just playing in a with a controller, and it's just it doesn't feel any different.
Way that I have from the combat sandbox of Doom: The Dark Ages is this: 2016 was about shooting your guns. Eternal was about switching between your guns and managing your ammo economy. Dark Ages seems to be about using your abilities to move and create enemy vulnerabilities that you can then exploit with melee attacks and, of course, guns. You definitely spend a lot less time pulling the trigger in this game than you did in 2016 or Eternal, because you're spending so much more time utilizing those abilities and turning enemies' own attacks against them. And this is why I think Doom: The Dark Ages is maybe not going to be to everyone's taste, because it's so wildly different from 2016 and so different from Eternal that surely some people are just going to be like, well, that's not really for me. And, you know, fair enough. Me, though,
which is funny, because if people played 2016, 2018, I think it was. When's the last one that came out? Is it 16, 18? And then there's been a gap? Anyway, the last two, if you were excited about those, and now you're not excited about this one, but now this is intriguing for me, that's interesting.
I'll tell you right now that I absolutely loved this, but I will admit that I'm very partial to the bullet hell style gameplay that this is embracing. It's one of the many reasons I love Nier Automata, and I love Returnal. I also really loved how the ability...
Krebsy, I love how Krebsy makes these examples. So, is a Battlefield shooting an AR-15 is the same as shooting a tank? No, because the tank and everything is completely different when you get in it. Okay? One person can shoot the top of the gun of the tank. Someone has the main thing. You're actually moving. The mechanics of moving the tank are different than you walking around. Okay? Where when you're in a mech, you're moving exactly the same as you did when you weren't in a mech. Okay? It's the same controls, the same everything. Where if you're in a tank, right, it moves completely different. There's different points of things that you can shoot. So I can be the gunner, I can be the back gunner, there's a bunch of different things. So that's a poor example, and no, it doesn't feel the same. But in Titanfall, when you were in a mech and then not in a mech, you're still doing the exact same thing. Only it's a different gun. It's like switching guns. Okay, now I have a different gun, but I'm 20 feet taller than if I was 5 feet on the ground and using a different gun.
Abilities made combat feel like a sort of puzzle box that needed to be turned this way and that in order to unlock it. Doom 2016 obviously coined the term combat chess, which is all about enemies having distinct kits that could be combined in different ways. Here in Dark Ages, though, you have a lot more agency in that equation. You're not just responding to what enemies are throwing at you, you're taking a lot more initiative with how you approach each arena, as the broader range of tools at your disposal gives you plenty of options for how you want to approach things. There's also less focus on weapon swapping and strict ammo economies, and as someone who just didn't really enjoy that stuff in Eternal, this definitely appeals more to me. So I do imagine that those who want an experience focused purely on gunplay are going to be left feeling a little flummoxed by Dark Ages, since its combat model is asking you to do a bunch of different stuff as well. It's not much of an exaggeration to say that this feels like a first-person melee fantasy game like Avowed or Skyrim or whatever, crossed with Doom. And yeah, you're either going to love that or you're not. Personally, I loved it, but I'm going to be very interested to see how hardcore Doom fans feel about it. Also going to be interested to see how they feel about these new open world levels that Dark Ages is serving up.
People are probably going to hate these open world, right? The loosely open world areas. I like stuff like this because it makes me explore.
I got to experience one of them during my gameplay preview. They are still campaign missions with set objectives, but they're very different from a typical Doom level in that they're an expansive map that takes a minute or two to walk across, and you can go in a bunch of different directions, and it's littered with secrets and mini-bosses, and completing additional challenges unlocks additional currency that you can use to purchase upgrades, or just collectibles, if you're the type of person that likes to collect all the things. This level here is called Siege, and the reason you've seen so much of it in this video is because it's the only level that they let me record gameplay. But yeah, I liked it, though I didn't think it was that big a change up for the series. Even though it is an open plan space, it still felt like a number of arenas in the same way that a typical linear level does. It's just that now I can choose which order to do them in.
Right, it makes you feel like you have player choice.
Felt like the first mission on The Halo in the hit video game Halo. Like
The Halo.
you could choose which order to rescue those Marines in. The choice didn't really matter all that much. That Halo comparison is going to be a big one when it comes to story. As you recall, Martin said that story was one of the pillars on which Dark Ages was built, and I'm not going to lie, that made me uncomfortable. I think 2016's minimalist storytelling was perfection, and I think it went a little off the rails in Eternal, and now it's like in another galaxy here in Dark Ages, almost literally. The game opens with a lengthy cinematic that is very Halo-coded, with alien races at war and the Doomslayer deployed as a super weapon the same way the Master Chief was. I only experienced a small slice of this overall story, so I can't judge it, except to say that I'm kind of more open to it here because id have jumped in with both feet. They're clearly looking to pick up where Halo left off, delivering an action space opera centered on a one-man killing machine. Given how thoroughly 343 have fumbled Halo storytelling, my heart is open to id having a crack on this front, but like I said, I have to
Is the next Doom going to be co-op?
see the whole thing unfold before I can come to any conclusions on it. Not so in the case of the Dragon, where I've already decided that I do not like this. Now, to be super clear, Bethesda themselves stress dragon riding missions are not like 50% of this game or whatever. This isn't Panzer Dradoom. These missions are a bit of fun, a bit of pacing. They're like the turret missions you do in a Call of Duty campaign. Those are my words.
It doesn't look appealing to me. This section right here, the Dragon looks like the Batmobile.
It's not Bethesda's, mind you. And look, in that context, fair enough. But yeah, the Dragon has a super weird control scheme where you can free fly in all directions, but if you lock onto a target, it changes the control so that you then move relative to that target, and the entire focus is on dodging these green walls so you can then supercharge your laser for big attacks. It just doesn't work very well, to be honest with you. The control scheme is not great, and riding the Dragon should be fucking cool, but honestly, when you land after riding the Dragon, you're like, okay, good, that's over, we're back on the ground, good stuff. And I think something has gone a little wrong when you're kind of looking forward to getting off the sick-looking Cyber Dragon that breathes fire down the throat of your enemies in order to execute them. What you heard there was a brief snippet of the game's soundtrack, which sadly is not being done by Mick Gordon after he and id Software had their very public and as yet unresolved fallout. Still, full credit to the new composer team who go by the name Finishing Move. While you can't judge an OST until you've heard the whole thing, the tracks I've heard here have been pretty damn good, so I'm very hopeful that the full OST delivers. There's so much more that I could talk about here, like the upgrades menu, and the nature of the puzzles, and the arena design, and the specific weapon mechanics, and the list goes on, but honestly, there's just too much to cover in a single preview. Such was the density of this experience and my 3 hours with it. It's a very sumptuous game in a way that 2016 and Eternal weren't trying to be. They were much more focused in their intent. where this seems to be much more elaborate and sprawling, something that may end up biting id in the ass. But like I said, I am very, very into this core gameplay loop. I absolutely loved it, and looking back over my footage, I was legitimately sad that I couldn't boot it up right now and play more of it. id don't know how to make bad video games, and this is their biggest, most audacious and riskiest swing yet. I don't know if Doom Dark Ages...
All right, look. This is the mech, right? You're in the mech in this scene. What's the difference between this and this? Right? You're just taller.
This is going to be a home run for everyone who plays it.
You have a different weapon that you could use because he's using a big Gatling gun or whatever. Is it cool? Sure, it's cool. But it doesn't excite me because it just means you go from this to this. Right? You're on the ground, you're up high.
But I personally am very, very keen to experience the full package when it launches on May 15th.
Right? Difference is I don't have a giant shield with a chainsaw on it.
For Xbox, PS5, and PC. Do look forward to a complete review from me at or near the release date. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
I think the mech and the dragon are just, I don't know, they're like low-hanging fruit. Do you know what I mean? Like what can we what can we do to make this game a little cooler? What about you're flying a fucking dragon? Be like, it's brilliant. Who doesn't like fucking dragons, right? What else can we do? What about if we put it into a mech? Boom, mech, yeah, that's what we need, right? And again, I'm making fun of it, but at the same time, I don't hate that there's a mech and a dragon. It's just that the mech, you're just going from here to here. It's the same stuff, right? But anyway, I think it looks good. I think it looks real good.
For the last few months, we've been doing shoutouts for this video's sponsor, Lost in Cold.
Right, I'm more excited about the chainsaw shield than I am about the mech. You see what I'm saying?
And every time we do it, they've been blown away by the sort of response they get from the channel. So first up, thanks for checking them out. Your support of Lost in Cold helps Lost in Cold support us. So everyone's a winner in that equation, including you. Because the stuff that Lost in Cold produces is genuinely exceptional, and you can't get it anywhere else, and it's an amazing way to celebrate the love of games as an art form. Take their recent Outer Wilds Design Works collection. This features over 250 pages of interviews, essays, and perspectives on the game that forever changed the way we think about video games. A really special way to celebrate and commemorate a really special game. Recently, they announced an incredibly ambitious Legacy of Kain collection, including an encyclopedia and a tabletop game. That was so successful that Lost in Cold had to set new stretch targets for their Kickstarter program because they blew past their original goals so quickly. Well, Lost in Cold has two other projects on the boil. The first is a Design Works collection based on Ultros, the psychedelic indie platformer that has a singular art style and design ethos. The standard edition is a softcover book over 200 pages long that features a deep dive look at how the game was made.
See, this is cool. If you want to collect stuff like this.
New light on it. The deluxe edition is a hardcover book featuring a slipcase, poster, art prints, scratch art, stickers, and so much more, all of it housed in a beautiful presentation box, making it the perfect collector's item or gift. If you're looking for something a little more tactile though, check this out. Delve into the depths of your mind and test your gaming knowledge with Did You Know Gaming's new dungeon crawling trivia card game, made in collaboration with Lost in Cold. Alongside a group of fellow heroes, you'll be tasked with using your wisdom and insight to answer gaming related questions as you progress through the dark, killing monsters, acquiring gear, and becoming stronger, all in the hope of defeating one of the several deadly bosses and escaping the dreaded trivia dungeon. There are different versions of this package available too, and all of them are as intricate and lovingly detailed as anything else Lost in Cold puts out, and this will be the perfect thing to have under your coffee table for when some friends come over and they're looking for some tabletop fun. There's so much more that Lost in Cold has to offer, way too much to list here, so I really encourage you to click through and see all the incredible stuff they've done or are doing or will do. In an era when physical media is harder and harder to come by, it's nice to see an outfit still printing books and making tabletop stuff, allowing us to not only learn more about and celebrate the things we love, but also looking great on our shelves while doing it. Visit lostincolt.co.uk to see it all, and be sure to use offer code SkillUpMarch at checkout for 5% off any order. That's lostincolt.co.uk, offer code SkillUpMarch at checkout for 5% off. Thanks Lost in Colt for sponsoring the video, and thank you for watching it.
Yeah, check that out. All right, look, Doom Dark Ages looks good. It looks good. Sarge says, so for what I'm hearing is this game is coded to make you feel like a badass instead of you learning the game and learning to be a badass, lowering the standards for the new players. Understandable. I don't know if they're lowering the standards for new players, Sarge. I think, I mean, I just think they try to do something different every single time. I mean, he said it's still fast and whatnot. The mech could feel very different as long as its visuals feedback is designed well. Sure. for what we've seen for the mech stuff, House, from visually, it doesn't look any more exciting. The more exciting about the mech to me is that it's like it wears off real fast. But that shielded chainsaw, that's going to feel good every single time you throw it. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like the mech is what the tank is in the original Halo games, right? Like, you're playing through Halo, and then all of a sudden there's that tank level. You get in the tank, it feels good because you're like, oh, cool, I'm in a tank. But then you're like, it's a tank level. That's what the mech looks like. The mech looks like it's a mech level. So you just get the level, you just go into the mech. It's not something you like call in. It just looks like something that just, oh my God, there's a mech. It's that extra cherry on top. But it doesn't seem, visually, it doesn't seem anything better than if you're on the ground just doing melee combat and whatnot. Argus says Chainsaw Shield's going to be badass for sure. Yeah, that seems like the best thing. Believe me, they're lowering the standard. Doom was the fast-paced, high FPS power game. Speed and precision was Doom always. Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're dumbing it down. I just think they're doing something different because they said it went from full-on gunplay to not full-on gunplay for the second game, and now it's more like tank heavy melee type of stuff. Well, it's like how guns that are basically the same in Destiny, but they feel so different that Bungie knows how to design visual feedback. Sure. I'm not disagreeing with you, House. What I'm saying is that just like the dragon, what he said in the thing, it's just something that they put in, but it doesn't seem like they thought through. So the mech, we haven't heard a lot about the mech stuff. They use it in promotional material and saying, and you also get a mech. And then we've seen very little gameplay of the mech. So I would assume that it's really nothing special. Otherwise, people would talk about it. They just tell you, "Oh, you're getting a badass mech. You get to go in a mech." It's more of an advertisement thing. It's sort of like Battlefield uses for its Levolution. Did you know there's a tornado? There's tornadoes in Battlefield. Oh my God, the tornadoes. Did you hear about the tornadoes? Did you hear about the Levolution? Did you hear about the tornadoes? Like, that's what that is. Sure, Eleni. I'm not saying that the mech is going to be shitty. All I'm saying is it's more of a marketing thing to get you hyped. That's what it is. Natsua says, old Doom felt like Bulletstormy, like this slow and dodgy shots, and you can also parry. Badass to me, to be honest. This one intrigues me more than the other past two have. Right? This one intrigues me because of the up close and personal with the shield, using it to toss. I like what I see here. I like the open world, semi-open world type of stuff. I like that there's puzzles and stuff like that. I like that there's collectible type of stuff. Right? This game intrigues me more than the past two games. Okay? I'm a big fan of the original Doom, the original series. When this came out, 2016, I was still deep in Destiny, right? Deep in Destiny. I was playing Destiny. We're playing Battlefield. We're playing a lot of different stuff and didn't have time to play Doom. And I'm okay with it. I think this one does look interesting. We might pick this up and play it. Why? Because it's on Game Pass. I can give it a shot. Jason says, Dark Ages looks great, but I feel like the gameplay won't be as good as Eternal. See, I personally don't have anything to compare to, Jason, because I didn't play Eternal, right? So it might feel good to me, but it might feel bad for someone that's a big fan of the first two, which he said in the video. He says, I don't know if the Doom fans are going to like this one compared to the other two. Heavy Titan is actually back. They are making steps and to differentiate the classes. Titan got the update and makes them feel more like a tank for sure. Jay Breezy says, Avowed Doom. Yeah, I like the open world-esque type of stuff. Like, a lot of people didn't like the Gears of War, the last Gears of War, because the open area type of things. I actually liked it. There's something about it. Like in Adamfall, I'm playing it. I don't need these giant worlds like an Assassin's Creed or like a Skyrim. Okay, but what I do like is the smaller maps, like what Avowed is doing, like what Adamfall is doing. I like the smaller-esque type of maps where you don't feel like it's so daunting, where it takes you forever and you get lost, and once you do one thing, you're doing the rest. Everything seems big enough, but small, but small enough as well. Just perfect. It's like Goldilocks. It's like a Goldilocks map. Gears was fun for sure. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the way they did the open world stuff. Heck says, well, the marketing worked. I'm a mecha guy, so mech. Damn it, I'm in, right? And look, it's exactly why they do it, right? That's exactly why they do it. Again, I'm not giving shit to Doom Dark Ages because they put a mech in. I'm saying personally, I look at it and go, I'm not impressed by when you get into a mech in a game. If the game is you are a mech and you're like fantasizing you're in a mech, cool. But when you jump into a bigger object and you're doing the exact same thing you did when you were in a not a mech, it doesn't do anything for me personally. The old Doom's on PC. There's such where we're about dodging shots, and it's also felt slow. Seems like they met. I'm the middle on both, and the old game formula and their new game formula just slowed down a bit. Right, which now intrigues me more. Right, when I first saw 2016, I was like, it looks awesome. Music sounds awesome, but it doesn't look like a thing for me. Yeah, and I totally get it. I totally get you guys like the mech. Right, I'm not shitting on your mech. I'm talking personally on my end, looking at it and going, it's a promotional type of thing. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Don't know what this is. Saw this this morning. It says the next gen Xbox is entering its final form, and it could change gaming as we know it. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. It is April 1st, so we are a little light on the news stories today because I don't know what's real or what's fake, what's going on for news stories. We have a bunch of news stories inside of Discord, but basically anything that comes out today won't be taken seriously, right? So I'm saving some stories for tomorrow that were posted into the Discord. Jack says 30 trust. You'll love 2016. It's not that bad. The problem is, Jax, I'm not interested. It's nothing. I'm not interested because it's 2016 and I have other games I'm interested in playing, and I have very, very little time to throw in a different game that I didn't think I was going to play or not interested in just to play it. You know what I'm saying? You're absolutely right. I could probably love it, but there's other games that are coming out that are more relevant that, as a streamer, I would play those over the thing from 2016. If I ever get time, which is very rare, to play games off stream that I'm not playing a game that's a newer game that I'm interested in, then maybe I'll give it a shot. Krebsy says, said it earlier in the stream, Dragon looks cheesy. Yeah, it looks like the Batmobile. 100% looks like the Batmobile. It even looks like the Batmobile as far as the way it moves. Right? It almost looks like the Batmobile, how it moves. Are you going to watch the Switch 2 tomorrow? What time is it at, Gaming Fire? And maybe, because I would rather, if it's in the morning during our live show, I would rather wait for news stories to come out and talk about it, because if we watch it live, I get hit every single time. Nintendo hits you every single time when you show any of their stuff. So, if anything, I would wait for it to show out. People can watch it We could talk about it, and then I would talk about news stories after the fact. Nintendo always hits me for the copyright strikes. All right. So next-gen Xbox is entering its final form, and it could change gaming as we know it. If you guys like what I do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member. All right, so if you've been plugged into Twitter, tech news, gaming podcasts, etc., none of this will be the news at this point. Microsoft moved towards the next-gen Xbox is very much as an open secret. A true console / PC hybrid for the living room are reportedly slated for 2027, a platform with the openness of a PC that also works as an Xbox. And then when I say Xbox, I mean an actual Xbox. Excuse me. One that can play my library with games dating back to my original Xbox. To long-term console users like myself, this stuff matters. Microsoft learned a hard lesson in the backlash when it was also backwards compatibility off the table. With the launch of Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, along with the Xbox backwards compatibility program, has the most part delivered. Of course, the correction it's needed to. Okay. It says, I actually revisited the childhood memory of mine as that night before I turned 35. My sister and I were obsessed with the SSX3 back when we had a PlayStation 2, and I found it on the Xbox store a few months ago. And one night before I turned halfway to 70, I thought, fuck it, why not? I spent the tenor to come down to the adrenaline-fueled slops of nostalgia. My sister was so in disbelief when I told her I was playing SSX3. I've invited her over to check it out for herself, but she also lives in the other side of the planet from me. This is also detriment living in an Xbox-free household. Her loss, I suppose. Microsoft's next generation of hardware is said to go beyond the constraints of the walled-off system and currently reside in our living rooms, though. It rumors that Windows-based device, a gaming-first place of hardware that looks like a console, acts like a console, but delivers a flexible of a gaming PC. Developers no longer working to deliver the two SKUs with the Xbox Series X and S, but a version that works across all Windows-based devices. Here's the problem with that. Even if 2027 comes out and they have another system, I doubt that Xbox just stops supporting the X and the S, right? If they're going to still support, like right now, they do the XS, Xbox One, and everything else in between if it's got, if it's running Xbox. So yeah, you're telling me that in 2027, if the new Xbox comes out, that they're going to just abandon the Xbox Series X and S? I don't believe so. Okay, it says developers no longer working to deliver for two SKUs with Xbox Series X and S, but a version that works across all Windows-based devices. I mean, that sounds like they're just abandoning the X and S, and I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, we're seeing the moves to whatever next-gen Xbox will be in action now. The Asus ROG Ally and Lenovo Legion Go are perfect examples of mobile computing delivered in the gaming first package. Windows-based devices that serve up content from PC Game Pass, as well as Steam/Epic and also Ubisoft stores. We're going to come back to that last one. Okay, there's one thing that that I've mentioned are all missing, though. A secret sauce that all the long-term Xbox fans need. That's the access to all the stuff they own on a platform they've spent best a part of 25 years playing on. The only way I see this happening, obviously, it would be really hard if they have their next device that I can pull a disc out from the original Xbox and put it in the machine and work. That's not going to work. But what could work is that they're just going to resell you all this stuff, that the past games or a library, and they don't actually sell you the game, but all those games, again, I'm just saying this, don't know if it's happening in any way, shape, or form, okay? But if Game Pass, you guys were talking about it earlier, El Nini, I think said it was like $40, and Water Bear said it would be $50, or El Nini said $30, right? If they do this, where you can play your Xbox games and Xbox 360 games and the Xbox One games and the Xbox Series X and S games, that would be in a Game Pass era. That would be all included into the thing. Nintendo does this right now. Nintendo, where you could play the old selected games, though, selected games, where they put on and take off. It's like $50 for the year, okay, for Nintendo, and you could play the older Nintendo games on your Nintendo Switch, okay? If they do this for the next Xbox, that's what it would be. It's not going to give you where you already own it, and then you have to buy it again, or if you already own it, you could just shove it into the system. I don't think it's going to work that way, okay? It's definitely going to be like, hey, Were you with us in Xbox back in the day? Were you with the Xbox One or the Xbox original, the 360 or Xbox One? Well, all those games are now on this platform, and they're all here for you to enjoy. That could bring people on to go play older games they never played before. Who knows? Okay. It says if Microsoft can deliver to put in plainly, a console-shaped PC that can play old Xbox games, Xbox will have a strong contender for gamers of all stripes, living rooms in 2027, according to the sources. The going theory, and most likely the solution, is that the next Xbox will achieve this via emulation. Well, there you go. Okay. If Microsoft can pull that off, you've got a device that can also play your entire digital back catalog and games from a PC store. I mentioned the Ubisoft store earlier. Now that we delve into this means that the device to be an Xbox, a real one, not a phone, not a Fire Stick, etc., we've established what a PC hybrid would look like. I want to tell you about the conundrum I'm currently facing. Here's the thing, though. Why do you need a console, right? Why do you need a plastic box that sits next to your television, right? He says a real one, not a phone, not a Fire Stick, but what if it is just a small box that does all this stuff because they are attaching to the cloud to emulate all the stuff that you're doing, right? And it's not a box that's the size of the Xbox or a PlayStation that sits next to your television set. Why do you need that plastic box, right? I'm asking, like, the customer, why do you need that plastic box sitting next to your television set? Is it, right? People think a disc, the game is still on the disc. That's a fantasy. The game is not on the disc anymore. On the disc is a key. And when you put it in the machine, it's then telling it to the internet. Hence why you have to have your Xbox or PlayStation connected to the internet. Otherwise, you can't play the game, right? So why do you need a box that looks like it's a big giant thing that's doing all the processing and stuff like that when they can do it on the back end? GeForce Now is a sign of that right now. You can play the highest end games at the fastest frame rate on your shitty computer through GeForce Now. No stutters, no nothing. It works awesome. I don't know. Okay. Following the events online that also include Assassin's Creed Twitter account that's certain billionaire, I thought I paid my respects by subscribing to the Ubisoft Plus for a month. I've been seeing a lot of buzz around the Assassin's Creed Shadows, and what I can say is I felt left out. Oh, boy. Man, did this person fall. I kind of checked out when... If you liked it or not, I don't give a shit about Elon Musk. I think this looks really poor on the Assassin's Creed front here. When the community manager, whoever runs this account, took a moment to take a shot at somebody that has nothing to do with the video game industry. I thought it was, but, you know, it's got 729,000 likes. So, okay. Later, I'm playing Shadows, and it's awesome. I quite like to buy it, and you think that as a logical choice would be, yeah, just buy it and then dummy. But wait, there's more. I'm building a PC. And I would like very much to like the extremely good-looking game on said PC. Where do I buy it? Because Ubisoft would have obviously liked me to buy it twice. And, well, casually just move from one realization, and that technically I've already bought it once, or at least a month's worth anyway. If I bought Assassin's Creed Shadows on PC, either Ubisoft or Steam, I could play this on the supposed Xbox PC hybrid. Also, will this eventually work in the other way around? Because if there's a way for me to play the entire Xbox back catalog on my new PC, that's truly monumental victory for the game preservation. That also happens, would also be able to be Assassin's Creed Shadows on PC. Decide to buy the Xbox version, granted probably capped Xbox Series X settings via the hypothetical Xbox emulator. This idea for multiple stores leads to the strange question that console traditionalists will now have to answer for themselves: which version of the game do I buy? But that's the whole point. The whole point is, as a gamer, where do I want to buy the game? You don't need a plastic box. If you want to buy the game on a phone, buy the game on the phone. If you want to buy it on Steam, buy it on Steam. If you want to buy it on an Epic Store, buy it on an Epic Store. If you want to buy it on PlayStation 5, buy it on PlayStation 5. If you want to buy it on Xbox, buy it on Xbox. They don't care. They don't care. Okay? Obviously, they care a little bit because they're making money, but they don't care because they're making money off you in some way, shape, or form. Hence why there's microtransactions in single-player games. Hence why there's streaming services. Hence why they get percentages of certain things. They'll get you one way or another. They'll sell your information. They'll get you from a subscription service. They'll get you from a microtransaction. They'll get the money from you because you are the currency. Okay, so it says, for me, the relevant, simply one, the one that offers me the ability to play the most amount of places, as opposed to being faced in the prospect of buying a game twice so I can play it across PC, Xbox, and the cloud. It says that strange dilemma Ubisoft Plus has put me in. Technically, I could go join and enjoy AC Shadows on the PC and handheld Xbox and cloud right now, but I don't want to be the mercy of my Ubisoft Plus membership to do that. Already have Game Pass. That subscription fatigue is a very real thing. Okay. What I want is a digital license that I can use anywhere to return to a one-off payment. Or if I was asking for stuff for Shadows to go into Game Pass, or some not doubting up to the subscription. The next iteration of Xbox hardware, Game Marketplace, will likely offer a single Windows-based version of the game that can scale across PC and hybrid hardware. If it means that I can truly play this version of multiple devices, an extremely exciting prospect. Even more so, it can also be possible for me to play the games via the cloud as well. Okay, do you hear what he's saying? This particular person that's writing the article sure sounds like the same type of people that were on the Kind of Funny podcast that said the convenience, right? Which is the majority of people. They don't care where they play. They just want convenience. If you can make it convenient for someone to play their games wherever they feel like playing the game, then that would be the biggest selling point. If all of these things do that, okay, we were talking about this with Netflix the last couple days and months and whatnot, right? Netflix is on everything. Netflix doesn't care if you buy a dedicated... Why hasn't Netflix made their own thumb drive? Why did Netflix put themselves on the Fire Stick and the Amazon, on the Roku and the television sets and the Xbox and the PlayStation, right? Why did they do this? Why didn't Netflix make their own box? Because they wanted to make it the most convenient thing possible, right? You want to get discs? Great, we got you discs. You want digital on your computer? Get digital. You want to watch it on your television set without a Fire Stick? Sure, it's there. You don't own any of those things? It's on your Xbox? It's there as well, right? They don't care. They just want to put it in as many places as possible to make it convenient. And if it's convenient, then it's easy for people to get, okay? It says it feels extremely, at the moment this time, it feels simultaneously both exciting and confusing because none of these questions I've mused over currently answerable, but it's also starting to feel like the possibility might be endless with the next a piece of hardware, okay? Or potentially rather jarring. Some of the afraid is another concern. How the hell do you communicate all of this to the consumer? The one that buys the Xbox console because it just does the simple stuff really well. This is the chasm of confusion that Microsoft can also help with the customers navigate. But one thing is for certain, however to engage the Xbox-made content on Microsoft-made console, hardware, PC, Game Pass, cloud, and handheld, or even on PlayStation. Xbox is firing all cylinders with this stuff and really matters. Well, you can imagine that Xbox could fuck this up big time because they don't even market their own consoles very well, right? There's people confused back in the day if an Xbox One is an Xbox Series S or X, right? They didn't market it very well the way it is. So hopefully Microsoft is much smarter now. They've hired maybe new people to market stuff for that. The next Xbox is not called like the Xbox Series XX, right? Where everyone's like, oh, I don't know if I'm buying the X or the XX, right? So hopefully they name it different where it's not so similar to the other boxes. Look, this is the future. The future is convenience, right? I don't give a shit if Xbox makes money or Steam makes money or PlayStation makes money. I'm just a gamer. I want to play the games where I want to play when I want to play them. If that's on my cell phone in a car, if that's on an iPad on a train, if that's in my backyard with a television set, if that's in someone else's house off their internet, I don't care. I just want to either rent and play the game or buy and own the game, and then I can play that game wherever I want. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think about this next hypothetical Xbox or PlayStation? The next console, let's just say. Let's just say the next console iteration in 2027. Do you think they're all going to go this route where basically you don't really need a box and you can play all the emulations of all your games in the past? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. Gaming Fire says news probably be Thursdays since they are doing a Nintendo Treehouse. Also, more games announced. They're doing that tomorrow, though, aren't they? The Direct is tomorrow. I'm sure they'll announce a bunch of games and whatnot. I just don't think we'll do it live. If it works on all plats, that means they're also making it work for the potato and forget the rest, right? They're not just going to abandon the S and X, right? I'm not saying they're doing parity, but the devs would have to make the game be able to work on the older systems as well for at least a couple of years, because the consumers are not going to buy into the next system until most people don't buy in the next system until like 4 or 5 years into the cycle. So 2027 comes out, 28, 29, 30, 31, right? So half of your population over on these systems is not coming over until 2031, 2030, 2031. El Nini says, what do these people think owning Musk would do? I don't know, El Nini. To me, it's so weird. Honestly, like, people can be excited about this and be like, ha, ha, ha. They showed Elon. Do you think Elon gives a shit? He probably tweeted and walked away and didn't care. Okay? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right? All this shows me, and this is before Assassin's Creed, by the way, and Ubisoft got bought out by Tencent, or helped out with a $1.4 billion investment, and then taken that franchise and moved it over to a new subsidiary. Okay? Why do you think that is? Like, who's owning who here? Right? Like, you're making fun of the richest man in the world, and your company, your IP just got picked up by a helper because your company couldn't afford it. Who's winning here? Right? Who's winning there? Altern says, also, what does that have to do with AC's shadows that Elon Musk tweet with the new Xbox? It's because these people are deranged, Altern. These people are deranged. They have to bring it up. They're like, hey, I was having ice cream the other day, and I really like strawberry ice cream. Do you know about what strawberry ice cream? Did you know that Elon Musk... It's like, the fuck are you talking about? I thought you were talking about strawberry ice cream. Yeah, but Elon Musk likes strawberry ice cream, so... If you like strawberry ice cream and Elon Musk likes strawberry ice cream, you must like Elon Musk. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Hey, that's deranged. If Ubisoft devs spent more time making good game than playing Twitter, Tencent wouldn't need to save their cheeks. That's exactly right, El Nini. Lucas says, Netflix just paid to be a button in the remote. That's right. Make it as convenient as possible. Look, my television remote, right, has a dedicated Netflix button, right? Dedicated Netflix button. Make it as simple as possible. Hal says the Xbox Series X2. That's right. They have the worst marketing to name stuff. What's going on, Ghost Fixer? Sarge says, time is definitely a factor. I want to play Mech Warrior 5 Clans and try the multiplayer. Good luck to you, Charge. Good luck to you. You should do it live. It's Nintendo. Bo, I would get demonetized, which doesn't just affect that video. It affects my whole channel. Because what happens then, YouTube's like, oh, this person did this. We're not going to push their stuff. I hate when I get hit from a copyright thing. Right? I'll do it after the fact. I don't give a shit. Like, getting hit with a copyright claim, even it doesn't like hurt my channel as far as like I'm getting like canceled. What happens is the algorithm gets fucked up, and then it doesn't push out my videos. It's like you get to go in timeout. It's like you're in a penalty box for undisclosed time. Krebs says, I've seen people say that Xbox library won't transfer to the next Xbox. I mean, anyone can say anything they want right now because nothing's true and nothing's false. Everybody can say anything they want. Hex says, could the old systems just play a cloud version? Yeah, they could play a cloud version emulation. That's basically what Nintendo does. Nintendo, you pay $50 for the year to play the old games, and all it is an emulation of their own games on a server. That's it. Sarge says, Elon doesn't have the time for a little high school girl drama online. He was fucking multi-million-dollar companies to run. Well, no, he has time. He literally said, objectively, he's promoting a terrible game. He was talking about, what's this guy's name? Hassan Piker, right? He was commenting on that, and then Assassin's Creed came out. But we also know Assassin's Creed paid a bunch of streamers $2.1 million, like total, for advertisement. Actually, that's a great thing to bring up right now. Okay, so let's look at the look at the owning, right? Where's this one? We got Assassin's Creed. Where's that story? Where is this one? Here it is. Ubisoft has spent $2.1 million on influencers to secure the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, he says, what is this and why am I doing it? Welcome on my ongoing deep dives into influencers marketing for major game launches. Having analyzed Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Fragpunk, Split Fiction, today I'm breaking down Ubisoft's long-awaited Assassin's Creed Shadows released on March 20th. These analysts leverage Streamforge's tech to give marketers transparent, actionable insights into how leading publishers are allocating influencer budgets, and my goals remain consistent: help industry professionals benchmark their campaigns and uncover strategies that work. I'm not affiliated with Ubisoft, and all budget figures are estimated based on publicly available data on the market, rates, and Streamforge's algorithm. Okay, A Road to Shadows was remarkable long, as even as AAA standards. Ubisoft first revealed a Japanese set project, then called Codename Red, back in September 2022, meaning that the full marketing cycle spanned over 2.5 years. Okay, September 10th, 2022, initial reveal of Codename Red during the Ubisoft Forward. May 15th, the official Shadows reveal with cinematic trailer, initial on 2024 release date. June 10th, extended gameplay demo of Ubisoft Forward. August 19th, one duo, two playstyles, trailer released. September 25th, the first delay announcement. January 9th, the second delay announcement. January 23rd, story trailer and live stream preview event. February through March 2025, final marketing push with multiple brand partnerships. And March 20th, global launch. Extraordinary long run allowed Ubisoft to build anticipation over the long through the two delays interrupted momentum. The standard about Assassin's Creed Shadows marketing strategy was Ubisoft's exceptional use of brand partnerships in the months leading up to the launch. Unlike more streamlined approaches we saw with Split Fiction or Fragpunk, Ubisoft created a tapestry of collaborations extended far beyond gaming into lifestyle apparel and also even food and beverage. Okay, the hardware collaboration announced it brought themed gaming peripherals like mice, headsets, keyboards, and blends in feudal Japan aesthetics and gaming functionality. This was also followed by creative coffee partnership. They also introduced a character-inspired boba teas. Okay, because that's what I want, right? These unique consumable tie-ins transform the game's identity into a tangible product fans could literally taste. Most impressive was Ubisoft dual apparel strategy just before launch, partnering with simultaneous with combat sports brand Venom, performance wear, MMA gear, rash guard boxing gloves, and a tendency of streetwear label anti-social club and limited fashion catapults. The two prolonged approach targeted both aesthetics consumers or fashion-forward audience, expanding Shadows' reach well beyond the traditional gaming demographic. Red Bull parkour stunt. Perhaps the most creative was the pre-launch Activision came through Ubisoft's partnership with Red Bull on March 10th, just 10 days before the launch. I didn't even see it. Did you guys see it? I didn't even know that happened until this article. Okay, with a viral parkour video featuring professional freerunner performing Assassin's Creed-style moves and actual ninja-themed park in Japan. Okay, this content marketing also masterclass showcased top parkour athletes, including recreating iconic AC moves, including the Leap of Faith, perfectly aligning the game's emphasis on the movement and traversal. By leveraging Red Bull's extreme sports audience and filming in Japan, this stunt created authentic crossover content and resonated far beyond gaming circle. Did it? Did you guys anybody see any of this stuff? I didn't know anything about none of this advertisement, by the way. Okay. Twitch Drops program, which I did know about. Okay, similar to what they observed in the Kingdom Come Deliverance, Ubisoft integrated Twitch drop campaign, boost Shadow's viewership, reward participating creators. And this was a two-phase promotion aligned with launch timelines. Phase 1 was open to all drops, 18th to 25th. Phase 2 was exclusive UCP creator drops. This two-tier Twitch strategy leveraged both general streaming community and Ubisoft-affiliated creators. It maximized Shadow's presence of Twitch, keeping it trending in directories through its open drops. Think about all the stuff they've done here. And yet, they only can tell you they have 3 million players. Okay? The Lo-Fi Girl collaboration, in particularly creative move, Ubisoft partnered with the immensely popular Lo-Fi Girl channel shortly after launch of March 26 to release the Stealthy Beats to Relax to, a 20-track album to lo-fi remix from game soundtrack. While technically post-launch, this collaboration demonstrates the kind of innovative thinking that extended the marketing window beyond the traditional pre-launch of launch boundary by tapping into the massive lo-fi music community. Okay? And then there's the creator program. Ubisoft began promoting its creator program months ahead of Assassin's Creed Shadows release, encouraging content creators across platforms to join in and anticipate the upcoming opportunities tied into the game. Through social posts and also official creator program portal, Ubisoft highlighted benefits like early access free game keys, exclusive assets, okay, and eligibility of co-streaming and sponsorship content, which was a lot. There was a lot of people that got it. I got a key, and I didn't want to play it because I didn't give a shit. Okay, Assassin's Creed specific messages appeared as early as August 2023, with Ubisoft teasing exclusive drops and creators focused on the franchise. By launch, Shadows was officially listed amongst supported titles, and creators had access to materials tailored for the game. Leading into the release, Ubisoft offered early access to select creator program members, distributing free game keys and press builds under embargo. The embargo lifted on March 18th, 2 days before launch, triggering a coordinated wave of YouTube videos, live streams, and TikTok content from creators who had played the game early. Public posts from creators confirmed that Ubisoft involvement, with many disclosing the partnership via tags like Ubisoft Partner. Ubisoft provided access to creators across all tiers, from large YouTubers to also small streamers, ensuring that the wide coverage sustained pre-launch buzz. Okay. 689 creators on Twitch, 178 creators on YouTube, TikTok 105 creators. Now, mind you, there's a bunch of people that had it that didn't want to play the game. They reach out to you, okay? Last year, Ubisoft posted that they had over 9,000 creators in this program, which means that they also had around 10% conversion rate for their program. Content volume during platform distribution. Now that we've covered a broader marketing activations, let's take a look at the reach of Ubisoft got in their game. A total Assassin's Creed Shadows generated impressive 179.4 million views from content creators. Sure, that sounds impressive until you take that number and compare it to another game that was actually impressive, which this is minuscule compared to that. That immediately stands out: extreme dominance of YouTube videos, accounting for nearly half of all viewership. TikTok shows impressive performance, as well as generating more than 3 times the views of Twitch despite similar sponsored investments. Meanwhile, YouTube streams saw the highest percentage of sponsored content at a whopping 76.9%, suggesting that Ubisoft heavily prioritized live YouTube coverage, but found limited organic pickup there. The overall 6.6 sponsored content rate indicates that Ubisoft received substantial organic amplification beyond paid partnership, through the ratio is higher than we saw in Monster Hunter Wilds 2.7. Now, do you see what they're trying to do here? They're trying to compare of all the stuff that they did, and they got the 6.6 sponsored content ratio compared to Monster Hunter Wilds 2.7. Yet, Monster Hunter Wilds has reported they sold 10 million copies. Sold 10 million copies in the first month. Where's Ubisoft's numbers? Where's Ubisoft's numbers? See, they're trying to conflate that because this is 6.6 and this is 2.7, and we know this number for Monster Hunter Wilds, that this number's higher than this, so that means this is higher than this. That's not how that works. Okay? So, budget allocated breakdown. Okay? Twitch had an estimated budget of 1.1 million. 55%. YouTube videos had almost over 500,000, 665,000. YouTube streams, another 153,000 on top of that. So that's on top of that. So we're at 800,000 for YouTube. Okay, 800,000, 813,000, almost 814,000 for YouTube altogether between YouTube videos, streams, and shorts. And then TikTok had 90,000. Okay. So this distribution reflects the strategy focused on deeper engagement rather than maximizing raw view counts. Despite YouTube videos and TikTok generating the lion's share of views, Twitch received over half the total budget. This suggests Ubisoft valued the longer play sessions, community building aspect, and Twitch paralleling the approach. No. The reason more engagement happened or on more people on Twitch, okay, receive half the budget is because they won't play your game unless you pay them to play the game. And then on top of that, the viewership for Twitch is because of the Twitch drops, not because of the game itself. Just saying. Okay, similar to previous games, analysts, short-form content, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok were significantly reinvested relative to viewership. Combined, these platforms delivered 40% of total views while receiving only 5.1% of the budget, highly the cost-effective of short-term content we've constantly observed. Okay, cost-effective analyst here, TikTok, sponsored views, 3.7 million. YouTube Shorts, 516,000. YouTube Streams, 1.1 million. YouTube Videos, 3.7 million. And Twitch, 2.6 million. There's the budget for all those. Okay. Cost per 1,000 here, by the way. Once again, we see a familiar pattern. Short-form content delivers by far the most cost-effective reach, with TikTok at 23.83 CPM and YouTube Shorts at 26.25 CPM, performing exceptionally well. The effective gap between these platforms, Twitch, is dramatic. Twitch costs nearly 18 times more per view than TikTok. Of course, because they want to get paid. You think they're going to play your game because they're interested in your game? No. However, raw CPM comparisons don't tell a complete story. Twitch offers much deeper engagement, with viewers typically watching for extended periods of versus the brief engagement of TikTok. This explains why Ubisoft allocated so much budget to Twitch despite the higher costs. They were investing in the quality over quantity. Creator demographic and targeting. One of the more interesting things that we can also dive into the demographics of the creators is we're also sponsored by Ubisoft. Normally, you wouldn't see it able to arrive at these kinds of insights because the example of Twitch doesn't tell you the country or the creator or the gender or age range. Creators are generally unavailable. Well, luckily, we have a Steamforge AI analyst to compute demographic information for creators amongst many of other interesting data points. Okay, so Twitch, 53% are English. YouTube, 54% are English, and TikTok, English is 52%. Then it goes to German, 17.2 on Twitch, then French at 7.7, Portuguese, 4.6, and Spanish at 4.1. YouTube, I don't even know what that is. German, Polish, and Portuguese. German, Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish. There's remarkable consistency across the platforms with English content accounting for roughly half of the sponsored partnerships. What stands out is the strong secondary focus on German and also appears prominently across all platforms. Okay, country distribution, top 5 is United States, Germany, United Kingdom, Australia, and France. For Twitch, for YouTube, it's United States, United Kingdom, India, okay, and Brazil. And then you also have TikTok, United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, and Brazil. Gender distribution, oh, look at that. Male, 39, 51, and 40%. Female, 24, other 15.3, and female, 12.3. Female on YouTube is 2%. Yeah, 2%. A notable aspect of Ubisoft's strategy was a substantial representation of female creators, partially on Twitch, where they made up nearly a quarter of the sponsorships. Right. Like across the board, it's 2% on YouTube. 2% on YouTube. Age demographic, 25 to 34, 65% on Twitch, 59% on YouTube, and 50% on TikTok. And then the rest of them are basically non-existent. Okay. Top creators, right? This is how much they paid. Man, I would love to get a payday like this on any game. Okay. Hassan got paid $76,000 potentially. Okay, another person got $72,000. Another person got $54,000. Right, 35, 37, 34. Right, all depends on what they got paid. All depending on who it is. Look at the top sponsorship creators. Assassin's Creed Shadow reveals that Ubisoft's strategic approach to influencer selection. The campaign secures several marquee personalities commanding significant investment. Okay, got paid $70,000. How long did he play the game for? Fuck, I'll play something for $70,000 and tell you exactly what I feel afterwards. Be like, yeah, I got sponsored for it. I'm not really a big fan of this game, but they paid me. So, So the key takeaway is Assassin's Creed Shadows influencer marketing campaign represents a major investment from Ubisoft, eclipsing budgets we've seen for games like Split Fiction, $350,000, and Fragpunk for $917,000. Cross-platform, wow. Fragpunk paid almost $1 million to that game is not going to do very good. That game is not going to do very good. Cross-platform integration, Ubisoft deployed a truly integrated approach, spanning all major platforms. Unlike Fragpunk's Twitch-focused strategy, Kingdom Come YouTube emphasis, Shadows maintained a strong presence across all the content types. Engagement over raw numbers. Despite YouTube videos and TikTok delivering the most views, Ubisoft allocated the majority of their budget to Twitch. It indicates the valuation of deeper engagement over maximized. No, the deeper engagement is you got to watch. How long do you have to watch to get the drops for Assassin's Creed? Any of you guys get them? How long did you have to watch to get all the Assassin's Creed drops? I would love to know that because it didn't say how long you had to watch it here. Okay. Notably, high proportion of female creators, particularly on Twitch, suggests international diversity and partnership. This aligned well with the game's dual protagonist and brand partnership amplification beyond standard influence in marketing. Ubisoft created additional visibility through creative brand collaboration. Okay. It says, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I understand the specific strategy Ubisoft went for. It comes with the creator selection. On Twitch, they choose Hassan as a champion. I imagine he's actually far more expensive than the estimated above. As a creator, his size gets to charge a premium. Yeah, he got probably well over 100 grand. That's an estimate that he got, right? But more specifically, Hassan barely streams gaming content. And when it does, it's almost always sponsored. Hassan's Assassin's Creed stream came in at half of the viewership his streams normally do, which indicates the lack of interest from his core audience. Imagine that. You paid a shit ton of money, and the dude gets this much money or this many views, but then when he got half his views. Half of the views that he got, and he got paid for it. Amazing. I also see a sponsor, Tyler 1, which seems quite random. He streamed the game for 2 hours and then immediately went back to League of Legends. You gotta love paying people that don't give a shit about your brand. They're like, yeah, I'll take the money. They play it. All right, guys. Oh, yeah, this is great. This is great. Yeah, I'm having so much fun. And time. All right, let's go back to the other game. They don't give two shits about what's happening there. To view full list of 835 sponsor creators, Assassin's Creed Shadows, head over to streamforge.com to create free account. Register is quick and free and will also gain access to each creator's key metrics. Okay. So there you go. So I'm sure, and this is just an estimation, I'm sure they paid a lot more than $2.1 million on influencers. I wouldn't put it past them if they paid $2 million to one influencer. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Companies have money to spend, they have to spend it. Right? If the game cost $350 million, I'm pretty sure they spent another $200 million on marketing. Cuddy says they're paying TikTok people like $100 for like 30-second ad. $2 hours? Yeah. So they're like, oh, the engagement of Twitch was so much more. Well, of course it was. Of course it was. They're not even watching it. They're not engaging. They put it on in the background, minimize the window, so it's just sitting in the background. So they're watching because they don't give two shits. They just want the free stuff. Roadkill says, I think your Raptor said like 3 hours, and I've never watched Twitch for any drops. I've never watched Twitch. I can't stand. 100 grand? No way. That's impossible. Oh, way more. 2 hours is how much time I think Hassan was paid to play Shadows. Okay. If I'm getting 100 grand just to doing that thing, I gotta kill myself. Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? If you told me, like, I would be playing, like, I would look for people that actually like your game, because of, like, if what game do I love, right? SnowRunners. If Saber Interactive approached me and said, hey, we like to sponsor your stream for SnowRunners, I'd be like, fucking hey, right, I already love the game, so I'll show it to other people because I'm playing the game regardless. But what's a game I don't want to play? The Sims. If someone approached me and said, hey, we're going to pay you 100 grand to stream The Sims, I'll be like, Okay, I'll take it because I want 100 grand. Right? I'll take 100 grand and then I'll play it and do exactly what they do and go, yeah, guys, we're playing the Sims today. And yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, what are you guys doing today? Yeah, it's fun. And then all of a sudden go, time. All right, let's go back to their game. Like, of course they're going to take the money. Why wouldn't they take the money? They're playing games regardless. Argus says, the thing I don't like about them paying people to play their game is towards the consumer, it creates a false sense of interest in the game from the influencer. Then they didn't have any. Sure. Those watchers to buy it because of the streamer, when they also wise, they wouldn't have. Here's what I think they should do. What was it? What was it called? Mixer. Mixer did this. Okay? I thought this was really cool that Mixer did. If you played a game and there was a link to the game, if you clicked that link while I was playing the game, then I would get a percentage. They would give me a percentage of, like, you got them to go towards the game. Okay? So then what happens here is, instead of paying me to play the game, okay, I'm playing the game and getting interest because I like the game. So if I like the game, then I would talk about the game because I like the game. This game interests me. And then if you're interested because you're watching me play the game as I'm playing the game, and then you purchase it through the link through my name, then I would get a affiliate type of link, right? That to me is a much more better way of doing things. But, you know, that platform's not here anymore. Microsoft sold it off, and then they just got rid of it because of the technology. I think Facebook has it. They use it for over there for some whatever. Gaming says, so when are the articles going to be written calling Ubisoft sexist for giving people sponsored, but only 2% are women? Title will be something like, Elon Musk supports Ubisoft, hate on women. Yeah. You think they sponsored any Japanese creators? Probably not. Probably not. It's so stupid. Titan says, you think they sponsored any creators that looked like No, they didn't. I think they screwed my. I think I screwed my careers up. Time to leave and start being a streamer. I want to get paid $70,000 just to play. Well, let me tell you something, Altern. I'm not getting any offers from anybody. Okay. We actually got. I've had 2 sponsors reach out to me. One approached me and then stopped, and then the other person I don't want to promote. Okay. So I like the offer. Like, it's nice that people want to sponsor, but I don't like the product, and I won't sponsor something if I don't like it. Right? It's nothing against them. It's just I don't like it for me. Right? And I can't sit there and go, "Hey guys, you should use this or you should play this," because I don't like that game. No, it wasn't Raid Shadow Legends. No. Right? I've played sponsored streams before. I think 2, but it's like I don't want to do those because they're not paying me anything. It's more of they give me the code and that's my payment, and I'm like, I don't need that. I don't want that. Yeah, but Altern, I totally understand what you're saying. But if I hold this water up and I'm like, this water is so good, you guys should pick up a case of this water right now, right? Like, then after I'm done being paid, you never see water on my stream again, right? I'm drinking out of a different glass or whatnot. That's what I don't like, because what happens then is sort of like what Argus said. It gives the false sense that the streamer likes that product. And a lot of people like to attach, hence why they're paying the streamers, okay? A lot of people attach themselves of, well, if Mike likes this game, maybe I'll like this game, right? And that's fine if there's no attachment there, okay? But if I'm being paid to tell you that I like something, and I have to say I'm being sponsored, regardless if it's I like it or not, is you got to take it for what it is. I'm being sponsored. So everything coming out of my mouth after that point, if I like it or don't like it, you're going to think I'm lying to you. Okay? You're going to think I'm lying to you. You're going to be like, well, this is sponsored, so I can't really take him for what it is. Roadkill says, was it a sex toys? I mean, if it was sex toys, I would take the deal just so I could use them afterwards. I mean, come on, Roadkill. See, the thing is, smaller streamers is that you get those kind of scammy companies that games are trying to target you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what. If Raid Shadow Legends wants to sponsor me, I will happily take the money, okay, and tell you exactly how I feel afterwards. Okay? I don't play those mobile games, but if they ever approached me with a nice paycheck, I mean, I would play it because I've never played it and tell you how it is afterwards. I'll be like, hey, guys, I'm taking money from Raid Shadow Legends. I'm being sponsored. And then after, I'll be like, yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was. Krabsy says, why do you need sex toys? These companies fuck you in the ass all the time. Let's see here. What is this? This is Ubisoft. This is on exclusive Ubisoft plan for the Ubisoft/Tencent subsidiary detailed in internal memo. Let's see. Reading the company's email is following, but if it becomes Ubisoft, doesn't seem to have much of a plan yet. It doesn't really say anything. They don't have a plan yet. Yeah, they don't have a plan, so I'm not going to read this because there is nothing. There is no plan yet. Hey, look. Look, it's April Fool's, but I don't know if this is real or not. But hey, you know, if you bought Space Marines and you played it back in August, right? Again, I'm not giving shit to Warhammer Space Marines 2. I'm giving shit to the business model of Space Marines 2 because new DLC takeover, new playable character coming out, enhanced dialogue system, and special ability discipline. Okay, which all of these things could have been in the game at launch, but instead, this non-live service game is a roadmap coming out. Again, it's free. You don't have to pay for this. Okay, it's not paid DLC. This is just DLC that's free for everyone. You bought the game in August, and now you're slowly receiving the rest of the game for the next year. Here's your next piece of the game that you paid for last year. All right. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Let me put my my scrolling music on. Yeah, the kitchen cabinets is a nightmare. I have done about 4 coats of grain filler. Roadkill, is that what you do? Do you make kitchen cabinets? Are you close to me, or you live nowhere near me? Because we're going to be doing our kitchen over. I would throw business your way. I mean, obviously, I would have to see your work. Let's see what's happening here. April monthly games for PlayStation. You got Chainsaw Massacre, RoboCop, Rogue City, and Digimon's Hacker's Memory are the 3 games for PlayStation Plus for this month. I can't take anything seriously on this fucking thing. I see certain posts and I'm just like, yeah, that's not real. Like Twitter is just you don't know what's real or fake. RoboCop's it's great, Worlds. Non-sponsored, it's a fantastic game. Sponsored, I would also say it's a fantastic game. I had a blast playing it. That's cool, Roadkill. So you're your own boss. You do what you want. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, today's Tuesday. Eclipse says 33 Immortals is having an event. Cat versus dog. Use your favorite pet to earn points. Is it the same? Or do you get points for the dog and points for a cat and then you get unlock certain things? I'm almost level 8 now. I'm halfway through 7, I think. No, I just got to 7. I just got to 7. Right, we don't know, Altern. Is that event true, or is it part of April Fool's and it's all fake? Everything's fake. I don't know if this is real, but it doesn't surprise me. Okay, I don't know if this is real, but I'm not surprised. I mean, fantastic. Mo, now you know my problem, right? Now you know my problem, okay? I see your codes, but I'm not playing when you put the codes in. Because I played last night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't think you were still on. But when I asked the people to play games, I'm like, hey, we're gonna play a co-op game. The only people that show up is Eclipse. Or the only people that show up is you come in every once in a while. Like, nobody wants to play games. Robert Jones, we always get like 1. Right? Rarely do we get like 3. I think we've had like multiple, like maybe 2 streams, 3 streams where we had 3 people in 4 years. All Jordan says 200K. Those are rookie numbers. I expect 1 million. Oh, you know what I want to bring up? This is Krebsy, you posted it. All of this stuff, right? This is real, right, Krebsy? All of these movies coming out. Most of these I know were coming out. Okay, let me make this nice and big for you guys so you can see it. 2026 film slate. Okay, let me know what you guys are excited about for this. Okay, one, we got Avengers Doomsday. Right, we got Disney. It's called Hoppers. We got Spider-Man's next film, Spider-Man 4, which is called like A New Day or something like that. What's going on, Jones? Then you got Moana 3. Then you got Masters of the Universe. You got Scream, what is that, 6 or 7. You got Street Fighter. You got Mario 2. The Odyssey. Shrek 5. Hunger Games, the next Hunger Games. Jumanji 3. The Mando. Mega Millions. Clayface. Like, is anyone excited for Clayface? I just don't think Clayface can support a movie by himself. I don't know what this is. Oh, that's Ice Age 6. Ice Age 6. The Hunt of Gollum. Why? Okay. We got Supergirl, which we knew about. We got Toy Story 5. Hail Mary. And Fast X Part 2. Yeah, DC Clayface. Yeah. See? DC Clayface. Like, do people not understand? Like, okay, this is the problem. Everyone saw Joker make a shit ton of money, and they're like, we got to make villain films, right? And what they don't understand is the Joker is one of the most beloved villains in all of comics. Okay? So they thought that the anti-heroes, they thought the other bad guys, they would sell very well. And no, that's not how that works. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Robert Jones says, if it's a new Batman era Clayface, I would watch on HBO. Kuda Papa says, I've known about the Hunt of Gollum. I mean, you could know about it, but the question is why? The question is why make that? It's because the video game did so well, I think. They're like, hey, we had a huge following with the Gollum video game. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's not an actual movie of the Hunt of Gollum. It's a documentary about the video game that came out that nobody could find. That's what it is. The Hunt of Gollum. That amazing game that came out. They're like, hey, you have that Gollum game? And nobody can find it now. They're like, hey, do you know where that Gollum game is? We're looking for a hard copy of Gollum. We're looking for the video game Gollum. Came out really good. It was one of the highest rated games ever created. Oh, for the Clayface? Yeah, it does look like an 80s horror movie.
The chaos unfolds. It's a brand new day on the morning scroll. From sunrise laughs to the trending scene, we're scrolling through the world on this glowing screen.
All right. What else do we got here? Yeah, Tom Holland's first Spider-Man 4 gets an official title. Spider-Man Brand New Day ahead of summer filming. I'm not sure. I would probably be live action if I'm not mistaken for Street Fighter. I saw this title. Okay. I saw this title. No, that's the wrong one. Where's the other one? Oh, what time is it? 12:16. We could talk about this. Let's talk about this. Okay? Because this is the most idiotic thing I think anyone could say, right? Because you guys know where I stand on John Boyega's Finn character, okay? When they first showed John Boyega way back in 2013, 2014, when they first gave us the trailer, and you saw John Boyega pop up, and he was in a stormtrooper costume, we were like, oh, this could be good. This could be good, okay? And then we all know what happened to John Boyega's character, okay? John Boyega says that Star Wars is so white that a black person existing in it is a big deal. Toxic fans are okay with us playing the friend, but we can't touch the heroes. I'm sorry, John Boyega. Did you hit your head? Did you hit your head? Like, what are we fucking talking about? The fans in 2014 loved what we saw. We wanted your character to be good, right? It wasn't our fucking fault that they basically wrote you out of the movie and dissipated you, right? And what I love about this is that he's saying that it's our fault as white people. We don't accept the black people in the movie. We love Lando. We loved other characters. I don't know where this is coming from, considering he was very positive about it back in the Force Awakens days. But now we're looking back. I haven't read the article. I saw this. I was like, "The fuck are we talking about? Has he lost his mind? Right? Got to lose his mind. Okay. Wait, are we losing? Is YouTube hitting me with something? I lost sound. All right, we're good. Hey, so John Boyega says Star Wars is so white that a black person exists in it is a big deal. No, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Why do people have to keep bringing up race? They're infatuated with race. 99% of the people don't care that you're black, white, or anything. We don't care who you're having sex with. We don't care. We just want a good movie. Your character seemed like an awesome movie. And then we got the bait and switch. They showed you, and then they gave us Rey, which was a terrible character. Okay? So let's read, right? Because I don't want to assume here. John Boyega called out Star Wars for being so white during an interview as part of a new Apple TV Plus original documentary. Number 1 on the call sheet, black leading man in Hollywood, VI Entertainment Weekly, Boyega debuted as Finn in Star Wars The Force Awakens and reprised the character in The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. His role in the sequel trilogy led to online harassment from racist and toxic Star Wars fans upset with black actor playing a lead hero in the space franchise. This is so fucking bullshit. This is so much bullshit. Okay. We all, the fans, by the way, not the one person on Reddit that they take a thing and they write 19 stories about that one person said something on the internet, which they never show proof of, by the way. Okay? They never show proof. They never have the receipts. There's no one ever responsible, and they always just use it as a blanket statement, right? Star Wars fans, they lump everyone together. Star Wars fans upset about a black actor playing a lead hero. How naive. How naive. Okay? He says, let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being the most whitest elite space. This is a franchise that was so white that a black person existing in it was something, right? Unquote. Boyega says that in the documentary, quote, you can always tell of something when some Star Wars fans tries to say, well, we had Lando. Uh-oh. There you go, chat. I guess I'm racist. Had Samuel L. Jackson. It's like telling me how many cookie chips are in a cookie dough. It's like they just scatter that in there. Bro. Boy. Man. I love the fact that he can call all Star Wars fans, just the white ones, by the way, that we're racist without saying racist. But we're not allowed to be, right? He can't be. Okay? You got to reset, refresh. If the audio is cutting out, just refresh. Okay? Something that YouTube did, it fucked it up, just refresh. Okay? He's allowed to blanket statement that everyone's racist. Okay? And that we don't care about, and it's not like we made the movie. I didn't make Star Wars. I didn't cast Star Wars. I take what they give us and make the characters. We love Samuel L. Jackson's character. We love Lando's character. We liked your character. They committed suicide for you in the movie. For God's sakes. He says, quote, they're okay with us playing the best friend. But once we touch the heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, just a bit too much. They're pandering. The actor added, while also acknowledging that being casted in the franchise was a fundamental moment in his career. Bro, this dude has drank the Kool-Aid and truly believes that we were the purpose, okay? That we were the purpose. Amazing. Amazing. He says Boyega first aired his grievances in the GQ magazine in 2020 about Disney fumbling of diversity in the Star Wars trilogy. He said at the time, what I would say to Disney is do not bring out a black character, market them to be much more. Important to the franchise, they are and then have pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. Yeah. The fans said the exact same thing. We said the exact same thing. We're like, what the fuck happened to Finn's character? You're blaming that on us? Not the producers? Not the directors? Not the writers? You're literally projecting what Disney did. Remember, Disney's the one that does this stuff, not the fans. What a fucking moron for saying shit like this. Okay? You guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley. You knew what to do with Adam Driver, Boyega continued. But when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, oh my God. It came to, and John Boyega, you know fuck all. So what do you want me to say? Man, you need a therapist, and you need to get a nice shot of like Jack Daniels, sit down with a therapist, and take your anger out on the people that gave you the job. Okay? Like, what are we talking about? When it came to Daisy Ridley, you knew what they... No, they didn't. Daisy Ridley's character was one of the worst written fucking characters in the new series. Hence why we hate it so much. Adam Driver is a fantastic actor, looked good in Force Awakens, and then completely blew his shit in the next two. Thank you, Rian Johnson. You should say thank you, Rian Johnson. You shouldn't say fans or racist. He never said racist. You shouldn't say fans are the problem. You should say your director was the problem that didn't give you the role. John, what are you doing, John? Okay? But when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, it came to John Boyega, you didn't know fuck all. So what to do? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say is, I enjoyed being part of it. It was a great experience. Nah. I take the deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nonsense to Adam Driver, all the nonsense to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest. Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody knows this. I'm not exposing anything. Oh my God, dude. This man is like, he's gone off the deep end. Right? He went off the deep end. He thinks that all the problems are people that didn't like 7, 8, and 9 was our problem why the movie did what it did. No, that's because of Disney, John. That's because of your producers and writers and directors, John. Not because of the fans, John. Like, you have completely come unhinged. Okay? Boyega later revealed that THR and that Disney executives reached out to him following the GQ interview. He said he had a very honest and very transparent conversation with the Disney executives and added, there was a lot of explaining on their end in the terms of the way that he saw things. They gave me a chance to also explain what the experience was like. I hope that me being so open with my career at this stage would help the next man. The guy that wants to be the assistant DOP, okay, the guy that also wants to be a producer, I hope that the conversation is not such a taboo elephant in the room now because someone just came in and said it. So you think that you came out and like saved the industry because you said they didn't give your character, right? You just blamed the fans for your problems and not the executives. But now when the executives came in, you're like, no, I was just explaining myself. And now that I said it, now, hopefully they move forward. What the fuck are we talking about? Number 1 on the call sheet, Black Leading Man in Hollywood is now available to stream on Apple TV. Like, what are we talking about, John? We wanted you to be good. God, I had a video way up before talking about, right? I was like, man, this looks good. I was like, I want to know what's happening with the stormtrooper. No, instead, we got a janitor. We got a stormtrooper that was a janitorial guy, because that's what he did. He only worked in the janitorial department. Okay. Holy shit. Like, how naive and stupid can you be to have all your problems that you think is because of the fans? J.J. Abrams handed off to dipshit, what's his name? Ryan Johnson. Okay, and Ryan Johnson took your character and every other character and flushed them down the universal toilet bowl. Okay, and then J.J. Abrams went back, okay, and changed what he changed from his change. And you want to insult the fans because Star Wars is too white? There's fucking aliens in Star Wars. Like, what are we talking about? A famous character is Jabba the Hutt. He's not black or white. And at this point, I like him a lot better than I like you at this point. As a character. Man, I actually defended this dude. But now, apparently, he doesn't like me because I said we like Lando. But I'm not allowed to say I like Lando, right? I'm not allowed to like Lando. He says it right here. You could always tell something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and we had Samuel L. Jackson. What would you like me to do? What would you like me to do to have a comparison of other characters in the actual movies? Please explain. Please explain, John Boyega. Who would you like me to compare you to? Well, we had the Wookiee. Well, we had Darth Vader. He's black. Like, what would you like us to say as Star Wars fan, you fucking moron? What are we talking about? Who would you like me to compare you to with other characters in the Star Wars universe? You can always tell those Star Wars fans when they compare me to Lando and Samuel L. Jackson. Well, yeah, when you call me racist and say they don't like black characters, and we're like, we had no problem with Samuel L. Jackson's character. We had no problem with Lando's character. We had no problem with your character. Like, what are we talking about? What an idiot take. I don't even know what to say. These are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you like what I do here, please check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. And John Boyega, what a stupid, stupid take. Arcus says, Yoda's a damn green puppet. Got more fans on airtime than the characters in Star Wars. Well, fucking Chewie is a Wookiee. We don't know if he's black or white if you're just watching the movie. We don't care who the actor is. Okay? We liked him. Admiral Akbar. Like, what are we talking about? These fucking people, man. I swear to God. They're infatuated with race and sexuality in these things. Infatuated. Inside and out. Real life to fake films. So stupid. Sarge says, but with a name like Chewie, well, you know. Kuda Papa says, Boyega just had drunk, far-left loony Kool-Aid and wants the trophy for being a permanent victim. I just don't get it. We, the fans, didn't write the script. We, the fans, when the next Jedi, when was it, fucking, I don't even know what episode 8's called anymore. What the fuck is Return? What is the Last Jedi? Jesus Christ, that's how bad the fucking movie is. Okay, the Last Jedi came out, and when they showed him, I was like, what the fuck did they do to his character? It was like Hollywood suicide. He went from battling Kylo Ren with a lightsaber in his hand. Okay? Remember, he was a janitor. Okay? He was a janitor. Battling with a lightsaber, and then was a comedy act. He fell off a table. I don't know. Maybe you should have spoke up to Rian Johnson and said, why are you using me as comedic timing now? Why am I the Jar Jar Binks of The Last Jedi right now? That's another black actor, by the way, Jar Jar Binks. I heard the Admiral talked about this article. He said, it's good. It's a trap. It's a trap. Wait. I actually have a soundbite for that. Hold on.
It's a trap.
Let me read that again. World. I heard Admiral talked about this article. He said,
It's a trap.
oh my God. The Star Wars creators had full creative control over the movies. Blame them for your grievances. They could have made you a badass. That's exactly right. He was the most badass janitor ever. Some of the black actors and characters played by black people in Star Wars are super iconic. Yeah. Everyone fucking loves Mace Windu. Everybody loves fucking Lando Calrissian. Like, it makes no sense to me to lump us all in and then be like, well, you can always tell those Star Wars fans that they compare. It's like comparing chocolate chips and a cookie. It's like, what? I didn't fucking make the movie. I didn't make the fucking movie. Crowded House says, my favorite was when people actually said fans only hate Jar Jar because they found out the black actor did the voice. Yeah. Yeah. No, we hated Jar Jar because of the comedic stuff that he was doing. The stupid, literally stupid stuff he was doing. Okay? And George said, well, it's not for you. It's for kids. What a stupid take by John Boyega. Oh, man. My son has not watched. I've never talked bad about any of the Star Wars 7, 8, and 9 in front of my son. I've never. He likes Star Wars. I catch him watching Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. He hasn't watched 7, 8, and 9 yet. He's waiting to watch 7, 8, and 9. He's seen bits and pieces in the Lego form, okay? I've never, ever tried to ruin it for him, okay? He wants to watch it, okay? When we watch it, I'm going to watch it and stay quiet. I'm not going to be like, nothing. I'm dead face watching the thing with him, and I want to see what he says, okay? Because when I watched him, we watched 4, 5, and 6 first. Then we watched 1, 2, and 3. Then we watched 4, 5, and 6 again, and then he's watched episode 3 and episode 1 or episode 4 over and over and over, right? He, as a 10-year-old kid, put stuff together. He asked questions, right? When he found out that Darth Vader was Luke's father, and then he started thinking, right? He was like, "Whoa!" So that was this, and like because we watched 4, 5, and 6 first, then we watched 1, 2, and 3, and then he connected all the points together. Okay, when he watches 7, 8, and 9, I'm gonna say nothing. Okay, I want him to watch and then tell me if he likes it or doesn't like it. Okay, and then I'm gonna ask him, "What did you think about the black guy?" Like, get out of here, man. But what did you think about the black guy? The black guy in this film, did you think he did a good job as the other black guy in the first 3 movies and the other 3 movies? Let me know, 10-year-old kid. Did you like the black stormtrooper? Like, what are we talking about, man? Why would you want to hurt your son so badly? Because he wants to watch 7, 8, and 9. He wants to watch the Star Wars movies. Altern says John Boyega is the smartest one in his home. He lives alone. It really is just a crazy take. Like the people that liked him, I now I don't like his character anymore because he literally just shit on me for saying that I liked his character. I was so upset. 2 of the characters I talk about, this is 4, but 2 of the characters I talk about the most that I thought that was written the worst was Finn and Captain Phasma. Okay? Those 2 characters are the worst written characters in the Star Wars universe. They gave more time to fucking, what was the captain's name? Hordo? Okay? With the purple hair? Crowd is like, yeah, why do stormtroopers have to be white? What's up with that? Seven will give him false hope like it did us. Why is John throwing a fucking hand grenade as far out as with the drama? Why? I'll tell you why. Because every time he shows up to an interview, they ask him about his new movie. They ask him about his new TV show. They ask him about what's going on. And they're like, what do you think about Star Wars as your character was written as a character? And they set up the they set up the question. They probably left the question out. Okay. But they asked the question. How do you project your character to the other great black actors inside of Star Wars universe? And he's like, listen here, you fucker. Right? They shit on my character. Right? And he's like, it's because of all the Star Wars fans. Fucking Star Wars fans are to blame. It's like, whoa. Like, calm down. That's what I think happened, Sarge. Krabby says, you can't get me to believe he willingly said this based off of what he said in the past about this thing. He was positive about it. Even in 20 like 5 years ago, he was talking about this, and he was positive about it. It's so strange. There wasn't. I forget. Let's see. John Boyega. John Boyega interviewed 20. Was it 2020? In 2020, he said, okay, in 2020, he said this. In 2020 interview with British GQ, John Boyega criticized Disney, criticized Disney and Star Wars franchise for handling of his character, Finn, and perceived lack of representation for black characters, stating that the series felt like an elite space. Okay, criticism of John Boyega. Okay, Boyega expressed dissatisfaction with his character Finn and portrayed the marketed trilogy, the sequel trilogy, particularly of Rise of Skywalker. He famously described Star Wars as so white in elite space, suggesting that the franchise wasn't inclusive or representative of black actors and characters. Okay. Only cast members statement. Boyega stated that he was also only cast member who had their own unique experience of that franchise based on their race. He criticized Disney for marketing a black character, Finn, as a potential main hero, only to then push them to the side and focus on the white character, Rey. Okay. Open to returning under certain conditions. Boyega has indicated he would be open to returning Star Wars franchise under the certain conditions, but he's currently cool off of playing Finn. Well, I'll tell you what, John, don't come back. If you came back in a race series or came back in any Star Wars film, you basically just Rachel Ziegler your way out of this, okay? Because you just went off the deep end and said that all Star Wars fans are racist. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. Amazing. It's a bold move. It's a bold move. I mean, remember in the Solo film, they took Lando's character and made him in love with the robot. I know a lot of people don't know that because a lot of people didn't watch the movie. Yeah. He was in love with his robot. That's weird. Krebsy says, so the next Star Wars movie film will have dwarves. Maybe they'll make up for what they had for Snow White. Like, well, they asked for dwarves. Maybe we'll put a new race in. Maybe we'll have a Jedi Jawa. Yeah, Jedi Jawa. Crowded House says, wasn't Rey always supposed to be the star? No, House. There was a moment. But see, this is what happens when you sit on the edge of your seat and write a script as you go. There was a part that Finn was supposed to be the main character. I wouldn't doubt if they pitched it to him that way. Again, these are things that happen in the back behind the scenes. As far as we know, Rey was always the thing, but there's been talks about there was other scripts and how the character was supposed to be. There was scripts early on with Rey, and she was actually supposed to be a Kenobi. I'm making a video. I'm making a video on the way I think they should have made it. I'm still writing it. I've been writing for like the last 2 weeks, trying to put stuff together. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks I'll get it out. Ron says, I'm ready for a Chewbacca romance scene. Yeah, that would be hot, wouldn't it? I think the Baldur's Gate 3 crowd would be into it because there was 200,000 people that like bears. I think they would be into it, Ron. All right. I think that's going to do it for us today. Man, that John Boyega thing at the end there. What a fucking wild take that was. What a wild take. All right, we'll be back tonight on 30 and Still Gaming for some more gaming gameplay, probably of Adamfall. We'll see if I can get out of the town that we're in now. They were just bearing the scene. That scene. That's right. They were just bearing. So we'll be back tonight for the gameplay at 8 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate it very much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. If I don't see you tonight for the gameplay over on 30 and Still Gaming, I'll see you tomorrow over here on the Daily Grind. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day. Oh, actually, you know what? I have a song. Where's that song? Did I put it on here? Hold on, chat. I'm looking for one. I think I have to open up my other. I want to play a different song playing out today. Since we just talked about the Star Wars stuff. Let me play a different song. Let's see. There you go. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Promises you said you'd go. Retire from the chaos, leave the show. But every time we thought you'd hit the door, you came back for more. Oh, we can't ignore. Oh, you took Lucas' vision, threw it out the door. Reboots and sequels that we can't adore. From Solo to Rise of Skywalker's fall, you've given us a headache, what a scandal. Retire already, why won't you go? Star Wars is broken, it's all for show. The fans are yelling, but you don't care. 5 years of goodbye, you're still there. You said, don't worry, I've got a plan. Then came the sequel trilogy, oh man. Your decisions left us scratching our heads. Where's the magic that George Lucas led? You let the brand sink and still you stay. Ignoring the fans, what a price we pay. Oh, you promised a legacy, now it's in shambles. Every move you make just makes us scramble. Retire already, why won't you go? Star Wars is broken, it's starting to show. The fans are yelling, but you don't care. 5 years of goodbye, you're still there. The force is strong, but it's lost in the dark. You gave us characters we can't even remark. Ray, Finn, Poe, all without a spark. But hey, here you are, still leaving your mark. Retire already, it's time to go. The brand is wrecked, but you put on a show. The fans are screaming, but you don't hear. It's been 5 years, and you're still here. So here's to Kathleen, who won't step aside. The legend's gone, but the ride, it's died. Star Wars ours will never be the same. But hey, at least you've stayed in the game.